Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in,
What?
in Venice Beach, California.
What is that about? Officially the 420 episode. Are you just fucking baked out of your mind? I can't believe, by the way, let's just start with this. You ended up doing the lines on your head. You, for some unknown reason, decided to do just one side. Did they ask you which side? And you're like, the side that faces prey now. Like, I got to look at this now?
I purposely did my left side. So I went to...
Because that was the dent side?
Yeah, it was the dent side. Exactly. It's got meaning. So
don't look at my eye. Look at the lines in my face.
So I went to Exquisite, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
And my boy Trippy, I asked his name 8 times.
Yeah.
Eron, is that a Spanish name? I'm looking at EJ over here.
It's a tight end on the Lions name.
Yeah, I don't know, but he kept saying his name, and then he's like, "No, man, they call me Trippy, bro." He's like, "Don't forget the real name." And then he kept asking me my name. He's like, "Yo, I keep forgetting your name, bro." And then he had his
You're
name.
like, tricky. It's tricky.
He even had, and then he pulled around his hat. He goes, "See, Trippy. It says Trippy on my hat. I'm Trippy." And he was for sure stoned out of his mind because my lines aren't straight. But I think that gives another cool
Actually,
edge.
I think it's better than if they were straight.
I think it looks cool.
I mean, it definitely doesn't look cool, but it's better than if it was straight.
He's like, "Yo, man, you want to do lines, bro?" He's like, "Oh, you're gonna get that swag. I see what you're doing." I was like, "Exactly."
Like, what is the reaction when I showed my girlfriend? She goes, "Did he lose a bet?" Like, what? Have you gotten any reaction? How about the ladies that you've been hanging with?
Every girl on the street wants to fuck me. Strangers coming up to me. Girls I do know are coming up to me. They want to rub their titties in my lines. It's pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, what's the actual reaction, Ben?
Well, here's the deal. No one has said anything to me. I do have a little swagger. You know, I was walking through.
But you have a lady you've been seeing?
I do.
And has she seen the lines?
No one has seen the lines in person.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Except us here at the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Yes. And then I did ask, I was out at my pool the other day, and nobody had said anything, and to be honest, I was kind of disappointed. And I said something to
You're like, "Yo, guys, I got lines, by the way, in case anybody was wondering."
I said something to the mayor, the mayor of Savage Town. I said, "Yo, dude, you see the lines?" He's like, "Yeah, I was going to ask, what's up with that?" And then when Dr. Margaret walked out, she walked out yesterday too.
She's like, "Oh my God, what happened? Did you have surgery?"
And I said, and then the mayor goes to her. He goes, "What do you think of Andy's haircut?" And I don't think she saw the line side, and she just goes, "Looks very German." And I was like, "Oh man, nobody's noticing the lines." And I felt bad. Her family had to escape the Holocaust in Germany, so I was like, man.
So not a compliment.
Yes, not a compliment. I think it looks fresh though. Can you zoom in on these? Can you zoom in on these lines?
I mean, from this angle, it's like incredible with the light in the background.
I think it looks great. In
So
fact,
you went into Exquisite, and you just waited. You just did a Christopher Walken, and you sat there and just waited for whoever was up next.
No, I went in the day before, and I knew it'd be a good spot.
Yeah,
because I went in the day before, and there was 3 dudes from 3 different races waiting.
Let's talk about the Notorious B.I.G. painting that they have in there. That's the best painting since the Centaur.
The Tupac one's just as good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a West Coast guy,
the Marilyn Monroe one, it's all the same painter. They got good ones.
Yeah.
So I went in there the day before, and there was a black dude, a Mexican dude, and a white dude all waiting. So I was like, "Oh, this is a very eclectic barber shop, very Venice-like." So I go to the dude with the beard and all.
Yeah, it was a black dude, a white dude, Mexican dude, and a homeless guy. They all cut hair there.
So the dude with all the tattoos and the big beard, he didn't understand about going the next day. He's like, "Yo, man, there's a line. It's going to be like an hour and a half." And I go, "I can't do that." I go, "How about tomorrow?" And he goes, "Like an appointment?" I go, "Yeah, like an appointment." And he pulls out this ratty notebook with just random words on it. And he goes, "What time?" And I was like, "How about 11 a.m.? And he's like, "That's cool." So then I go in the next day, and he's smoking a joint outside the barber shop with, it looks like a customer. And then they go in, and I walk in, and I was like, "Hey, man, I had 11 a.m. appointment." And he points to what definitely does not read anything like Andy. And he's like, "Oh, that's you?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. Hey, Trippy, can you get this guy?" And then Trippy took care of me. But Trippy was a fan of the lines. Trippy was like, "Yo, you doing that swag?" That's what Trippy kept talking about, and he announced it to the whole barbershop when I left. He's like, "Yo, man, look at his lines, bro." And I did a twirl.
Did he take a picture for his Instagram?
He did not.
Oh man, that's how you know you made it.
But he told me, he goes.
But he told me he would next time.
What Trippy told me was, he said, I said, "Well, how's this gonna grow back and shit?" He's like, "Yo, man, just come in here in like 10 days and I'll get it looking fresh again. I can, spruce it up again." So yeah. And you know what? This is the beginning of lots of weird shit with my hair, because that's kind of.
You know what this reminds me of? When I was
14?
When I was like 22, 23, my buddy who's a rapper, well, Doug Ray, who has the now defunct, short-lived attempt for a Dirty Sports song. He used to do the Kooks theme song.
Yeah, I know Doug.
He went on tour, and he was like, "Hey, dude, come tour manage me." He's like, you'll drive, like we'll do all this shit, like you'll just be in charge of the tour. It was just him and me basically on tour.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right. So the night before he left for a tour, I got into a bar fight, and I got my fucking ear just mangled. Some guy like kicked my fucking ear in, and it was all smashed up. And I was driving my right ear, and we got on tour, and he was like, "Yo, he's like, I can't look at your ear, bro." He's like, "It's fucked up." And then he's like, "Forget it. You're not driving the rest of the tour." He's like, "Not till your ear heals." I have to look at this side, and it's just like it's the only thing I can look at.
You're comparing
your fucking weird lines.
Your mangled ear.
Yeah, because I can't stop looking at it. And I kind of want to make you switch sides of the couch with me.
Do you don't think it looks good? I think it looks great.
I mean, it's there. That's for sure.
Yeah?
I mean, you just went one side.
Why would you go both sides? Symmetry? What's the deal?
I don't know.
No, because here's the thing, dude. To me,
why would you go either side is my question.
No, because here's the thing. Like, when I look at, let's be honest, most people with lines are black dudes. When you look at black dudes' hair, they don't go both sides.
I don't know.
Do you watch the NBA? Black dude's got some cool designs. That's where I want to go. I want him to get like thust in the side of my head now.
You're going full Anthony Mason now?
Let's put
in God's hands.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Let's just do was that the Rallies commercial that he had?
Who?
What was the Rallies commercial back in the day?
Rallies?
Yeah, Rallies.
Dude, I'm from New York State and New York State. Like, they don't have fucking rallies.
Anthony Mason, somebody look this up. Not now, or if you're listening to the show, whatever.
Anthony Mason had a Rallies commercial?
Anthony Mason
What's Rallies,
or Dennis Rodman had I think it was Seth Green's first big commercial was the cha-ching. It was like cha-ching. It was a big national ad. Somebody had cha-ching in their hair.
We don't have fucking rallies.
You guys don't have it?
Nope.
Anyway. Lots of NBA.
Rallies is Raleys.
That'd be Rallies.
Bro, you should take the SAT with me.
How are we spelling rallies?
Rallys?
Yo, give the mic to EJ. He's already cracking up.
I'm literally watching this man type this, and I'm like looking at it. Literally, it's like, "Did you mean it?" I'm just like, I hope he clicks it, and he did not click it. Oh, dude,
it's Rallies.
It's
We had two conference finals.
YS.
We had two conference final game sevens, and we're talking about how to spell rallies.
They're owned by Checkers. It's the same company. It's a big thing down south. Anyway, let's get to the conference finals.
Okay, great. Where do we start?
I was just going to ask you that.
Well, why don't we work backwards? Why don't we start with the game that's freshest
Okay.
in our memory?
You're taking some heat already.
Well, not really. I disagree. I'm taking heat from who?
Tug Coker.
Oh, Tug. Yeah, but so Tug texted me. Well, let's hold on. Let's hold on the Tug. We'll get to the Tug thing. Let's just talk about the game in general. Who was it? Dennis Rodman? Anthony Mason?
No, well, I was right. It was Seth Green. Yeah, did the cha-ching 1992 Rallies commercials. That was like his first big thing. Now, I don't know who did it in their hair.
No one gives a shit. That's the important thing.
Okay, go ahead.
1992. What audience are we? People who are in a random part of the country has rallies that also watch television in 1992.
Well, the problem is you shouldn't have given me marijuana. This is where my head's at. Okay. There's zero order to the show. But we are here to talk NBA conference finals, so go for it.
All right. Well, we got Warriors, Cavs, again, in the finals. We had a Game 7 tonight in Houston. Essentially, the game changer is no Chris Paul Game 6 and 7. And the Rockets come out big in the first half of this game. The Warriors, which I want the scientific basis behind, have their third quarter that they have all playoffs, all regular season. This is their thing. They come out hot in the third quarter, and 18-point swing. They were plus 18 in the third quarter. They were down 11 at the half, up 7 at the end of the third, and that's basically where it ended. Then they just paced them the rest of the game.
I don't know what the third quarter thing is, but they do it.
They do
all
the time. I almost said at the end of the first half, when it was like between 10 and 13 and 15, I was like, what is a comfortable lead? But then I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to jinx them into having a big third quarter, but they did anyway because that's what they do. I mean, there is no explanation for it other than they've done it, and so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of we're going to have a big third quarter, right?
You know what I think it is?
Because nobody's making any adjustments.
I think it's just, this is what I think it is. It's like they take a minute to get warmed up.
A half of a game of basketball?
Yeah, but hold on. And they also they know, the Warriors know how talented they are. This isn't the 73 win Warrior team, dude. This isn't the hunger, the drive, all that shit. They're just like, we know how good we are. Now we're going to actually give a shit.
Right. I mean, certainly in the first half, it almost looked like it was just a matter of will.
Look how they started the game.
Yeah.
How many fouls did they have in the first 2 minutes?
Houston just wanted it more. They won every 50-50 ball. There was a point in the middle of the second quarter where they had more offensive rebounds than the Warriors had defensive rebounds.
Steve Kerr, who's always jovial and will make one-liners during the interviews, told David Aldridge that was the worst quarter they've ever had.
In the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then walked away. And I mean, this series, the whole thing is both of those teams and both of those coaches kind of were just like, we're just going to keep playing our game, and what happens, happens. And that's a great look. I like Steve Kerr. I've said that before. I like him a lot more even this week when he was taking shots at the NFL. But it's a great position to be in if you're Steve Kerr, to say, like, we're just going to keep playing our game. It's like, yeah, well, if I had your fucking roster, I'd keep playing my game too. But in the end, worked out. Great series. We have 2 conference finals games here. Now, I want to ask you something because it did come down. Now we can delve into the tug thing. We can delve into Joe Schiavelli trying to take shots on text, which is hilarious. But when you watch how that series played out with no Chris Paul in Game 6 or Game 7, you were the guy that was like, they have no shot. This is going 5. They're getting blown out. You've been very critical of my boy, Mike D'Antoni. Does this give you any sort of change in respect for Mike D'Antoni? This is the second time now that he's lost a point guard in a Game 6 of a, conference finals, and it's ended up basically costing him a trip to the finals. Now, you could say, hey, maybe they lose with Chris Paul anyway, but the way they started out that game, not only the way they started out that game, but the way they went ice cold for the second half of that game, you got to think he certainly helps them the way he played in Game 5.
Chris Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Look, no, I'm not going to take anything away from, you're losing your second best player. I mean, come on.
Not only your second best player, but maybe a guy who's just like going to be a little bit more stable of an offensive threat than a James Harden who's, he's a very explosive player, but.
Sure. I mean, it's wild, dude. You saw it, and we'll get to the Eastern Conference, but you saw it in both Game 7s. Both teams that lost Game 7 shot not just bad, historically bad for Game 7. And you hate to say it, but you live by the 3, you die by the 3.
Right, but forget historically bad by Game 7s. The
Rockets set a record.
Historically bad in the history of the game of basketball.
27 straight threes?
Yeah. I think the record when they flashed on the screen was 22. They said they had just made 22 straight threes.
Correct.
like, what do you do in that situation? You know what I mean? Like, but my question for you is, because the idea, and I really, really respect Tug Coker's basketball knowledge. I've respected it ever since last year when I went to Costa Rica and I listened to you guys do a March Madness show without me. I thought that was a great show. Tug brought up some great points. Tug talked about college basketball in a way that, as a college basketball guy, I don't think of it. And I respect it. He brought up D'Antoni, and I'm like, oh, I respect your opinion. I'll hear you out. Who came away from that game thinking this was Mike D'Antoni's fault?
Well, I don't think Tug was saying that in our text exchange. He was just questioning, from what I read, the moves in Game 7, how suddenly Mike D'Antoni
is playing Ryan Anderson and was playing Joe Johnson.
Yeah, where he went from, a 7-man rotation, and he suddenly expanded that for Game 7.
Which I think the answer is they lost Chris Paul in Game 5. They got boat raced in Game 6.
Yeah.
Maybe try something new for Game 7, right? Especially when you've missed 15 straight threes and Trevor Ariza goes 0 for 12 for the game.
You can't have that.
Over 12 in the game. Trevor Ariza, I knew the game was over when Trevor Ariza was letting Zaza Pachulia get in his head from the bench.
Look, I'm not going to obviously put any of this blame on D'Antoni.
No, and
it's just the Warriors are the better team.
Right. But now my question to you is...
Just like they're going to fucking beat the shit out of the Cavs because they're the better team.
My question to you is the opposite. Did you come away from this series respecting Mike D'Antoni and his system more than you did before? Because you were like, until you make the NBA Finals, like, don't even talk to me. It's like no one has taken this Warriors team with Kevin Durant to Game 6. They took him to Game 7, and they did it without Chris Paul, and arguably with Chris Paul might have been a different series.
Yeah. It doesn't make... Look, it doesn't... I've never been... If you go back and listen to any of our discussions on Mike D'Antoni, and I don't want to make this another one, that was always my argument, right? You got to get to the finals.
Right.
That wasn't me saying he's a bad coach. Obviously, he's a good coach. That's been my only knock. Like, I'm not... Look, again, this year, had he had Paul... I'd maybe been a little more critical, just saying, again, you got to do the upset. At some point in your career, the good coaches, the great coaches, they have the upset. They lost without Paul. It's a huge blow. You can't lose players against the Golden State Warriors. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, they surprised me.
But I'd also argue, for the sake of arguing, I'd argue there are a lot of quote unquote great coaches, all time coaches that don't have the upset. Who did Phil Jackson upset?
Yeah, but he won those titles,
right? But who did he ever upset? Like, that's my point. Who is Steve Kerr? Like, I don't know if you can say Steve Kerr's proven anything. Did anybody think that Steve Kerr outcoached Mike D'Antoni in this series? I would have said it was the complete opposite in this series. Steve Kerr looked lost at times in this series.
How so?
How did Steve Kerr look lost?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about rotations. That guy was playing, like, if you
got against Swaggy P?
Yeah, like what is Swaggy P doing on the floor at moments in this series? What is his name Quinn Cook?
Yeah,
is that his name Quinn Cook? Where's Quinn Cook taking the?
He sounds like a '70s soul singer.
Yeah, Quinn Cook and the Pips are taking the game winner. Like forget how to get the shot in that situation. What's he doing on the floor?
I think Quinn Cook's on my fucking Spotify soul list.
I mean, there were certainly times, I think you could say, just in the way that they were attacking, the Rockets were attacking the Warriors defensively, where you're like, you're not just going to change up. And I understand that they're more talented, and I also understand that that's part of Steve Kerr's job is to say, hey, we have the most talent. I'm an ego manager. I'm whatever. But, like, we even see that little speech he gave Kevin Durant that they got him on mic'd up. I don't even remember what game that was. He's giving him like speeches about Michael Jordan at 5, speeches about Michael Jordan, how Michael Jordan's like, hey, how about just tell him to pass? Like, fuck. Does this have to be some like veiled, this is what the great players do? Hey, buddy, stop fucking playing hero ball.
Yeah, but I'm not going to question Kerr. I mean, if that's what he's got to do to get to Durant, my
point is simply this: when you're a Phil Jackson type, when you have the most talent, you become an ego manager. You become a guy, and in this series, when it came down to like strategizing how to attack each other, I think Mike D'Antoni did a better job of how to attack the Warriors as proof with them playing a 7-game series against the Warriors that nobody does ever.
Yeah.
So that's that's where I'm at.
Well, I got a text from our intern right in front of you, Trevor, which I thought was an interesting point. And I'm just going to say it on air. He said, we haven't played yet, and there's already drama between Joe and Tug.
We have drama?
You're having drama with Mike D'Antoni and the Rockets.
Yeah.
You and Tug are. That means you could have a fraction in your team.
Oh, in our basketball team?
Yeah.
No, that'll have no effect on us whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Tug and I. I mean, great example. I mean, just even the text thread that we had, we're going back and forth, very cordial. I mean, I think Tug knows that when we go out there, we're going to play a very Mike D'Antoni style of basketball. It's going to be very inside-outside, 3 or a layup. Why would we ever fuck with a mid-range game?
Man, we're getting some great feedback here from the interns.
Yeah.
From EJ, the likelihood of the Rockets, a 36.2% three-point shooting team, missing 26 threes in a row is 0.0084%, or a 1 in 118,757 chance. Holy shit, dude! These numbers really scare me for the SAT. Yeah. That was tough to read.
Yeah.
I got to take the SAT on Saturday. Wow.
Is that this Saturday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which one of you guys is going to film me? Because I feel like, can I be honest? You might have to share the mic for this. I feel like I think it's only right, the fact that I'm taking the SAT, and I know you guys probably have shit to do, but one of you should drive me. I need a driver, and one of you should film me, because my mind can't be looking at the road, because
I feel like Trevor could show up around a high school and no one really blink. He's got a basketball jersey on, a hat. He's got 2 days.
He looks like Ramsey Bolton.
I feel like EJ is the kind of guy who shows up and they're like, oh, he's doing the Matthew McConaughey like in fucking Dazed and Confused. He's like cruising for high school girls.
And what about me showing up with lines in my hair?
No, yeah, you're definitely somebody's gonna make a phone call like, there's an adult here and he has lines in his hair. I think he might have a gun.
I think for sure
he's got a gun.
I think that you just brought up the 1 in 118,757 of the Warriors of that happening. I'm sorry, of the Rockets of that happening. There's definitely a way better chance of me not getting into the test than what that made no sense.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that there's a good chance that they're not going to let me take the test.
I might have to pass for you. Say that I'm
Why
Andy
wouldn't
Ruther.
they? They already said you could.
Yeah, but dude, I'm not. I'm not going to post anything on social media beforehand.
You shouldn't.
I kind of want to, though, saying I'm taking the SAT today. Wish me good luck.
No. Why? You can do that. They already approved you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe don't be doing an Instagram story like, hey, I'm going over the SATs. I'm an adult. They're not. It's going to be awesome. I got lines in my hair.
Yeah, good point. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the lines in your hair is really going to throw everything off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have
Really
kids.
like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I'm going to have little Mexican black kids coming up asking for my autograph saying, look how cool you look. Can I take
You should
pictures
get a
of you?
kickback from Exquisite Barbers.
Yeah, man.
Everybody send their way.
I'm telling you, Exquisite, they got to start featuring us.
Now, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about 2 factors of this Western Conference Finals that we were sort of talking about before the game. One, I do think that the Cavs had a better shot against the Rockets than they do the Warriors.
Yes.
That's just a straight-up talent thing again.
Yes.
And then we were saying, while the game was on, it's like, oh, imagine Cavs-Rockets finals. LeBron loses to the Rockets, then he joins the Rockets. In a way, I know a lot of people were insinuating like maybe Kyrie's rooting against the Celtics. In a way, do you think LeBron is low-key happy? Like now he has the option to join the Rockets next year? And do you think that's a potential destination for him after watching this series?
Well, obviously, if LeBron went to the Rockets, I mean, holy shit, does that change things? I don't know.
I mean, LeBron just dragged you and Trevor and EJ to the fucking
That's what I'm
NBA
saying.
Finals. So, yeah, I think if he goes to the Rockets, who have the best record in basketball, they'd be tough to beat.
LeBron. Here's the thing with LeBron. I don't even want to speculate. I'm so sick of hearing, "Oh, he's for sure going to L.A. Oh, he's going to Philly. Oh, he's going." Who the fuck knows? I mean, when we did,
I don't think LeBron knows his answer yet either. I think that there's a whole process that's involved
dude.
here.
When we did the thing with Tug and Tommy, for Now We're Talking. I'm not going to say her name, but she's a big ESPN personality. She straight up told me off camera, LeBron is for sure going to L.A.
Well, she's not as big a ESPN personality as Chris Broussard, whose sources tell him wrong shit all the time. So let's tap the brakes on ESPN people knowing the answer.
But that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Is she told me off camera, she's like, "Oh, you're from Ohio," and we started talking LeBron, and she said, "Oh, he's for sure going to L.A."
I think the idea that LeBron
and I
knows
said,
where he's
but
gonna go.
I said, prove it. And none of them. I'm like, look, dude, that's cool. I see you on TV all the time. That doesn't mean you know. And she basically said, I know for sure he is because I know LeBron well. Whatever that means.
Right. Everybody had an answer.
Yeah.
Before. Windhorst lives in LeBron's garage. He fucking doesn't know. Look,
That's actually factually true for the record.
I think LeBron James, and this will be a nice transition into the Eastern Conference
lives in
Finals.
LeBron's
But
garage.
LeBron James' career and what's going to happen in his career, every day that changes. The difference between LeBron James making the finals and not making the finals, winning the championship, not winning the championship, I think every little one of those steps affects his next decision.
Yeah.
If he loses in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think that's he's comes to the summer with a different approach than if I made it to the finals again with Cleveland.
Sure.
Who are they going to get for me? Who am I going to team up with? Where do those people want to go? Is Kawhi leaving? Is Kawhi not leaving? What's Paul George doing? He's the fucking smartest player in the NBA in addition to being the best player in the NBA. And so he's the kind of guy, I don't know if he's sitting down with the team. I don't know if he's sitting down with himself. But after the season, he's sitting down and he's taking a lot of things into consideration. Hopefully one of them is that David Fizdale's the new coach of the New York Knicks. But it's probably not. And one thing's for sure also, LeBron James is focused solely on basketball right now. I don't think he's begun to think about where he's going next.
Well, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into Game 7. It was
LeBron James.
It was a fun game to watch.
LeBron James.
It was a fun game to watch.
James.
See, I'm gonna throw our listeners a bone here. Of course, we're gonna talk about LeBron, but there's a lot of things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I was actually taking notes during the game. This is a new Andy Ruther thing. I got a new desk for the interns, and I moved it by the TV. I was taking notes. And I got a lot to talk about, Joe Prano.
I was taking notes too, and it looks like you ever go onto your computer and you look at the different fonts.
Yes,
it shows you it'll show you the same word over and over in different handwriting styles. Mine just said LeBron James, LeBron James. I was like Helvetica, LeBron James, Courier New, LeBron James, Times New Roman, LeBron James.
Where did you watch the game?
I watched. Where did I watch the last? Man, my brain is mush. Where did I watch yesterday's game? I guess I just watched it at home.
You just watched it at home?
I think so.
Because you asked me about the TV situation of Baja Cantina. And I said,
no, you know where I watched it? Thank you for reminding me. I watched it at Brick and Mortar.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to go to. So what I was looking for yesterday was such a nice weekend in L.A.
It's gorgeous.
Surfed a bunch, got out, got some sun. It was but it was crazy around here. So I wanted to find some place where you could watch. And this is really a massive problem in not just Venice, but L.A. in general. Not enough outdoor drinking scenes. So I had settled on Big Dean's, which is under the Santa Monica Pier. Great outdoor bar.
What about Whaler?
The Whaler is such a douche factory.
True.
They're churning out douches. That's like Henry Ford's fucking assembly line.
Yeah. Douchebag is strong now.
So I tried to go to Big Dean's, and of course there was a line out the door. So then I was like, what? And then it was just it's a holiday weekend. Every place is going to be a disaster. And then I tried to think of someplace off the beaten path. Brick and Mortar sort of off Main Street. So I went there and watched the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into obviously everything LeBron did and the Cavs.
By the way, now I'm just all worried that I've got Alzheimer's. I couldn't remember where I watched the game yesterday. Well, this has ruined the episode.
Well, let's talk about Jason Tatum. I want to talk about him
Who?
first.
No. Tatum O'Neal?
I think you can say at this point, and I think it's important to factor in how his teammates played, where it's Game 7, they're all young guys.
Yep.
Him, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier. Jason Tatum played so well the whole game. This dude is a straight-up star. I don't know if you want to say he's a star now. He's going to be a star.
No, he's a star now. He's 20 years old. He's averaged 18 points in Eastern Conference Finals. Or 20 points in these. He might have averaged more. I think he averaged 18 for the playoffs. And that's with him not like giving him the ball that much. Well, I don't want to say them not giving him the ball. He was he's 20 years old. I don't think he's ready to like
St. Louis
take
kid.
over games.
I learned that. I didn't know he's a St. Louis kid. Chaminade High School. Shout out to the people from Chaminade, which is just like a Catholic school in St. Louis. But he
shouting out random Catholic St. Louis schools.
Yeah, because I lived there. So
Chaminade.
But dude, he's a fucking star, and he went head. I don't want to say head to head because
please don't.
But my point is,
it's like saying we go head to head on this podcast.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
What is that?
I wasn't saying who was Tatum and who was LeBron James. I was just
what is that supposed to mean? What the fuck is that supposed to mean, Frano? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I've already said this before on the podcast. I'm John Stockton. You're Karl Malone.
I'm just saying you hold your own.
Yeah, I'm the fucking host. I got to keep the show rolling. I'm John Stockton. You're Karl Malone. I thought we had agreed on that. We picked our 90s NBA players. You're the mailman. You have sex with 13-year-old girls.
Can we get a Photoshop of John Stockton with Ruther's lines in his fucking comb over? His fucking side part.
I look fresh, man. I look fresh as hell. So Jason Tatum, I'll be honest. I didn't really fully get to watch him until this entire NBA playoffs, like in depth. Dude is a star.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I've known that already. But yes, absolutely. I mean, Gordon Hayward went down, and it happened almost immediately. Right out of the gate to start the season, he was fantastic. He hit the rookie wall, which happens. He had a rough patch after the All-Star break. But the idea that he's 20 years old, that I don't know how many games he played in the regular season, but they played a lot of games in the playoffs just to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, then to go 7. They played 7 against Philly. Did they play 7? Did they play 7 in the first round?
They didn't play 7 against Philly.
They played 6 against Philly, right?
I think it was 5.
Either way, they played a lot of games. They had a 7-game series.
They had a 7 with Milwaukee.
For
sure.
I knew they had a 7-game series.
Yeah.
And then they had a 7-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals. So this guy's playing 90 games this year, 100 games this year, and at 20 years old, being 90-plus games into the season and playing like that, it's pretty unheard of.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I know we got a lot of Kobe slurpers out there, but go back to Kobe's early days when he was airballing fucking threes in the finals as a 20-year-old.
He wasn't even playing. Kobe was getting 16 minutes a game back then.
You remember the airball bonanza against the Jazz?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Kobe! That's what I do. That's how I alert bartenders that the thing I'm going to throw in their garbage can is going to come up 10 feet short. I go, Kobe! Help me with that, bro.
Shots fired. Serious question, though. And I got to give my older brother a shout out for this because he texted me this. Better coach, Tyronn Lue or the coach from the original Teen Wolf movie?
I mean, I think it's got to be the coach from the original Teen Wolf movie. For one, you remember the coach in the Teen Wolf movie was always chewing gum?
Yes.
That means he closed his mouth occasionally.
True.
Unlike Tyronn Lue. Also, serious question. Remember the fucking never play cards with a guy named after a city? Never date a girl with a dagger tattooed on her chest, I believe it is. And I don't forget the third one. And then everything else is cream cheese. Do you think that Tyronn Lue said anything smarter than that in the entire Eastern Conference Finals, like during the locker room, during pregame?
No.
There's no way.
And I got to take a dig because they're good announcers for sure, and we've talked about this. I got to take a dig at Van Gundy and Jackson because when this game ended yesterday, or in the waning moments of the game, Van Gundy brought it up again. When are we going to give credit to Tyronn Lue? This guy doesn't give any credit. This is the 4th straight Eastern Conference Finals. And it's like, come on, Van Gundy. Why have the Cavs made 4 straight Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Literally 0 of it has to do with Tyronn Lue.
Yeah.
It's all
LeBron James.
Okay,
Also,
gotcha.
I mean, color me not surprised at all that Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy want to give credit to a coach that had a good team and then achieved something, even though their coaches were completely fucking useless. Spoiler, that is Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. These guys like, oh man, remember that time Tracy McGrady lost his goddamn mind for a month? Let's talk about how Jeff Van Gundy's a great fucking coach. Oh, remember that time he took over for Pat Riley's Knicks and didn't do a goddamn thing with him? Oh, except try to fight Alonzo Mourning's shin? Mark Jackson? Oh, remember when he fucking got fired and his team immediately became a dynasty?
Yeah. I know.
I like Jeff Van Gundy as a broadcaster.
They're both
Honestly,
great broadcasters.
I like Mark Jackson as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
But I guess those who can't coach broadcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Look, we can't do it all. I mean, not everybody can have cool lines like me. It's it's just something that only certain people.
Steve Kerr, not a great broadcaster, back in the day. He was like, meh.
Yeah, I agree. I like Kerr better as a coach. I want to bring this up because we got to get into the LeBron talk. And obviously, you guys know how we feel. But I thought about something when I was lying in bed last night. When I was
Harambe over your head, the centaurs staring at you from the corner.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. There's a lot of animal activity going on in this smut studio. But this is what I want to say to all you guys who are like, oh, stop talking about LeBron, you're slurpers, blah, blah, blah. Pick any player in the NBA. Any player besides LeBron James. Put them on this year's Cleveland Cavaliers team. You cannot name, and I thought about it, and I thought about different scenarios. Hold on. You cannot name one player who replaces LeBron, can you, on this year's team that takes them to the finals?
Well, here's an easy way of determining that, okay? Here's the easiest way of saying there's absolutely nobody else, because nobody else made the finals. So it's like, oh, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis had a better roster, didn't make the finals, okay? Kevin Durant almost didn't make the finals, and his roster is way better. James Harden didn't make the finals. Jason Tatum didn't make the finals. Like, the only two teams make the finals. Only LeBron James made it with a fucking ragtag bunch of... We'll one day talk about this team the way we talk about the fucking Mo Williams, Anderson Varejao team. We're like, remember when Kyle Korver was the second leading scorer in the Eastern Conference and he went to the finals? Like... Who else? Nobody else. That's why they're not there. If they were there, then they would have done it.
This team is a little better, though, right? I thought about that, too, than LeBron's 2007. Because he's had, well, obviously Kevin Love didn't play the last two games, but he's had Kevin Love.
And how's Kevin Love played? Kevin Love sucks.
He's had some games, though.
Statistically, this is the worst team that he's taken to the finals.
It is.
Yeah, I saw earlier that team, the 07-08 team or whatever,
yeah.
They were better defensively.
So this was the worst team defense. They were like the 29th ranked defense.
So statistically, is that like the efficiency percentage? Like,
I think it was something like that. There was comparing stats, but it was that this team is, yes, it is worse than that team.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. And you're right, bringing in the defense. I mean, I don't know who was the second leading scorer in the Eastern Conference Finals, besides
Kevin Love.
And he didn't play the last
in the
two
Eastern
games.
Conference. Because you sent me that, I think that was for the playoffs.
Yeah,
that was for the Eastern Conference.
That was for
Finals.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
And he didn't play the last two games. Wow.
But he was averaging 13 points.
But that also shows my
13 points.
But that shows my point is that he didn't play.
Just in case you were wondering, when Allen Iverson went to the fucking finals, Dikembe Mutombo averaged 16. He's a fucking meme.
Wait, Mutombo was on that Sixers team?
Yeah.
I just remember Todd McCullough. Remember him?
Yeah.
Wasn't he on that team too?
I don't think so, but maybe he was.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Eric Snow?
Yes.
He was also on the. Wasn't he also on the? Was Eric Snow also on that shitty LeBron Cavs finals team?
I believe he was. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about him bouncing teams.
Yeah.
Just chasing that
Just
championship.
mercenary Eric Snow.
Eric Snow. Here's a good one for you. What college did Eric Snow go to? Do you know?
I have no idea. Michigan State?
Yeah, you got it. Look
Boom.
at you, Prano.
I guess the Alzheimer's hasn't fully set in.
Yeah, man, you're good.
Better second option on a LeBron James / Allen Iverson basketball team: Eric Snow or the rapper Snow, whose haircut you stole, by the way.
It's lit, fam. It's lit. So I don't know what else people want. Yes, LeBron and the Cavs, in my opinion, but what the fuck do I know lately, are going to get killed by the Warriors. But don't hold that against LeBron literally taking garbage men. I mean, there was a point yesterday I was texting you and you were ignoring all of them, which I thought was great. I was getting so annoyed from a just fan's perspective. It's just like tonight watching Houston. It's the same thing. You want to see shots go in. And Corver was bricking threes. J.R. Smith was bricking threes. This was all in the first half.
Yeah.
Jeff Green was bricking threes. George Hill, you're like, guys, all you got to do is make 1 out of 3. Yeah. Come on.
It's just like I know you've changed like the sound baths and all the Jordan Peterson books and whatever have totally changed you as a person. And I've seen
Float Lab, by the way.
Float Lab. Sorry, I've seen like first of all the other day. What was with when you tweeted like a quote from a basic chick's Instagram page about like love and saying you're sorry and shit like where the fuck did that one come from?
I'm occasionally just doing random quotes that hit my mind, and I think I've been smoking.
Was that somebody's quote?
That's an Andy Ruther quote. I think
I'm not sure you understand how quotes work. You can't quote yourself. That's just you speaking.
Well, it's something I created, and this is all I wrote. I said it's so much harder to say I don't know than I love you. We should change that.
Where the fuck did that? I feel like that's something you do on a refrigerator poetry.
That was sitting in my drafts for a minute, and I thought of it. I was stoned one night because think about it. It's so much harder for people, and it shouldn't be this way. Just to say I don't know. Everyone likes to act like they know things. It's harder to say I don't know than to tell somebody you love them. That is wrong, dude. And that's maybe more for Dent Report, but I'm just putting it out here on Dirty Sports.
But anyway, my point in bringing it up was I do like how lately your LeBron tweets have been this respect. Like, can we just respect him and respect him? And I don't understand how anybody. Like, where does the disrespect come from anymore? And I got to ask people, like, what's inside you to watch this and still want to hate on the guy? Like, we've never seen anything like this. I'm going to go ahead and say it, in any sport. We've never seen anything like this. Tell me somebody that has dominated personally in any sport like this. We've never seen it. The closest thing we have, and this begs the question that a lot of people have been saying, like, is LeBron James on HGH? Is that like the only thing? The closest thing we have is peak steroids Bonds. That's it, where he's getting walked every game, and he's hitting 73 home runs and would hit 100, and you literally can't pitch to him, and no one knows what to do, and it's absurd. But, like, we talk about the GOAT of Jerry Rice in football. It's not even fucking close to this. We talk about the way it was for Jordan and Kobe, Shaq, whatever. There's nothing like this. I've never seen anything like this before. You know what? I'll say this, since we talked hockey. Wayne Gretzky, obviously his numbers, the reason no one says, like, oh, what about hockey? What about the modern hockey is like, because Gretzky scored 3 times as many goals as anybody and like twice as many assists. Like his numbers like stand alone. So maybe him, but like, I'm not enough of a hockey guy to be like, oh, could you see it on a fucking day-to-day basis? But in any sport I watch, I've never seen anything like this.
Well, I think what you're trying to say, right, is just we've never seen the consistency and longevity at the same time.
Yeah, it's everything, but it's also not just like, again, and I'm not talking a Jordan LeBron comparison here, but that was the guy that we saw growing up, and you're like, holy shit, this is like, you can't. I mean, we all see it, right? Like, this guy's fucking insane. But what LeBron does in every single aspect of the game, he's not just his leading fucking team scorer. He's the block on Rozier. How many like...
Everyone wants to call that a foul, by the way.
With the nonsense. Kill yourself. That's it. I won't address that any further. The like... How many like signature blocks do we have at this point? Signature blocks. We got
a good one I'm about to play.
We got the finals. We've got
we've
got Oladipo. We've got this one. Like he's gonna have top 5 signature playoff chase down blocks soon. That he fucking straight up timed it.
But you know what?
Peak.
Look.
Block.
We all know what it is. We all know what it is. It's the same reason that I didn't like LeBron for the longest time. It's the same reason you didn't like him. Same reason we all rooted against the Heat. And that's what I tweeted out. It's like we all hated LeBron when he went to the Heat, when he had the decision. Now, I've gotten older, and that was my point. It's like I've matured as a person. We all should. Let's hope. LeBron also did that at a young age, which I don't think I was looking at the time.
And you were just talking about this before, like 5 years ago, Uber wasn't a thing. And like 8 years ago, like LeBron James has been in the finals since the iPhone came out, guys. Like that moment that you hated LeBron James for, he's made every final since. He's been the MVP of the league every single year since.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Who's hating on this at this point? It's just, it makes me like, it goes beyond sports. If you are a sports fan,
there's a lot, but I think you're bringing up a good point.
It goes beyond sports. Like, if you're a sports fan and you care about this and you're hating on LeBron, it's actually bigger than sports. There's
a lot of angry people.
You have anger in your heart. You have hate in your heart.
No, I'm
you
being
should go
serious.
to a float lab with Ruther.
Yeah.
You should get some lines in your head. Like,
yeah. Look how chill I am, man.
Remember, like there are people who are still like yelling at Asian women crossing the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get people to the place with LeBron where you have gotten. Maybe everybody needs to fucking float.
Bro, I did float lab again Thursday night, man. I had traumatic memories of when I almost drowned at 5 years old in my neighbor's pool, but it was good to kind of flesh that out in the float lab. But anyway, there is a problem. But you're right. I do think it's angry people. I tweeted this out. People thought I was making this up. This was not made up at all. I tweeted this out. I went to Trader Joe's yesterday after the game.
Yep.
Some dude in the Trader Joe's checkout line next to me is whining to the clerk at Trader Joe's. He's like, "Did you watch the game?" And he's going, "Yeah." And I'm overhearing the whole thing because we're both, checking out our groceries. And I hear him say to the Trader Joe's worker, the minute you move, that thing turned off. Wild. At least we learned something there.
Wild.
Yeah, the minute you moved in front, it turned off, didn't it? Anyway, the guy at Trader Joe's, it's not your fault. I just that we're learning things. The guy at Trader Joe's is talking shit about LeBron. I couldn't believe it. He goes, "Oh, this is what he said." He goes, "LeBron is such a bitch." That's exactly what he said. He goes, "He finally showboats and gets cocky when they're up 8 with a minute to go." And he's like, "Yeah, you couldn't do that the whole game." And I'm thinking, well, yeah, you don't want to showboat when your team's losing. Like, what is this guy talking about? And then he proceeds to say, "I can't wait for a real sport like the NFL to start again." And that's when I straight up, no lie, just butted in the conversation and said, if LeBron joined the NFL today, he'd be the best tight end in the game. And the guy literally didn't know how to react. And he's like, "Oh,"
which is just facts.
Yeah.
Like, when you just look at the end, when you just look at the guys, I mean, Antonio Gates couldn't hack it in basketball, so he just showed up in the NFL and became a Hall of Famer. Tony Gonzalez couldn't hack it in basketball, so he showed up in the NFL and is the third leading receiver of all time. Like, these are facts. If you're a dominant basketball player and those guys are 6'5" and 6'6", yeah, he'd be the best tight end in the NFL in 6 weeks.
But this is my point.
And honestly, he should do that for his legacy, because unless he wins 7 championships, no one's giving him credit. Go down in the NFL and then make people suck your dick, dude.
But that's my point, is that this dude's so angry. He's telling some random Mexican fucking worker at Trader Joe's, LeBron's such a bitch.
I just don't know. I don't know. Try the bananas. They're organic. No, fucking LeBron James is a bitch, bro.
Prano thinks I went to a fucking Trader Joe's in Oaxaca and Speedy Gonzalez was checking him out.
Did you try cold brew coffee? It's so good.
Can we talk about Kyrie for a minute, though?
Sure.
Kyrie didn't show up to the game, and Mark Jackson made a big deal out of it.
Bitch.
Mark Jackson made a big deal out of it. And my opinion is different than Mark Jackson's, but we both agree. Mark Jackson basically was saying, this guy played with LeBron for those years. You never know. He could be a good ear on the bench to say something. Where I think, okay, I don't know if game strategy, I think Brad Stevens has this down.
Right. Well, forget that. But just why? Like, it's just one of those things. Like, who's in your ear here that's not like, no, dude, definitely go to the game.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking. Yeah, my point is that's what I want to get to. I just don't understand because he's been at most games. Gordon Hayward's been at every game. And I don't know if you guys saw the story, but the story is that Kyrie Irving was getting his nose fixed, basically, because he broke his nose, his deviated septum, which is a fucking nose job. For the record, he was getting a nose job. Whatever. Of all dates he chose, he randomly chose the weekend of Memorial Day weekend when the final game of a series against LeBron. It's just, dude, it reeks of he wanted no part of watching LeBron win.
I mean, I think it could be both ways. I think Game 7, I think that's like almost a no-win for Kyrie. Either they make the finals. One of those teams is making the finals without Kyrie. Facts. So, what's the situation like? Either your team that you're hurt from makes it, and now it's like, oh, do we trade Kyrie and we try to get Boogie and we stick with these guards? They're playing so well. We made it to the finals without them. Maybe we don't need them. Or the team that you left that won one less game without you makes it back to the finals without you, which honestly is like the it's just one more thing for LeBron James because like just stop it with like if it weren't for Kyrie saving him, it's like, well, I guess there goes the what has he done without Kyrie? It's like, well, he won one less game and made it to the NBA Finals again.
You know who did need Kyrie though yesterday was Boston because they couldn't hit their shots. They needed a player who could get their own and score, and they didn't have that.
Well, look. There's also the game of basketball also is a lot about momentum, and it's a lot about like that shit is definitely contagious because James Harden can get a shot fine, and Eric Gordon can get his shot fine, and that whole fucking team went cold simultaneously too. So everybody's been hitting their shots the whole fucking series for Boston, and then they didn't. It's not like it wasn't a matter of them not getting their shots. Like they got shots in that game, and they didn't hit them. They got open looks in that game.
Oh, all game.
Regularly.
All game.
Because the Cavs don't play fucking shit for defense.
But what does that attest? Is that saying that the moment was too big?
Yeah, they're young.
And those guys were tight?
They're young. And like honestly, I think it's two things simultaneously. It's like there's the pressure of them being in the Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, but also now they're not living up to how they themselves did. Like they set their own bar. It's like the same thing as, you know, when we're talking about D'Antoni. People are going to go like, oh, won the what? Best record in basketball but couldn't make the finals? It's like, no. You don't get to judge that they lost to a lower seed because he overachieved in the regular season. That's not how it works. Like the better team won. This Boston team has been playing way above their heads. And that's how basketball works. Now they came back down to some sort of relatively normal level for them, and they lose. So it's like, you can't be like, oh, fuck, they played like shit. It's like, they didn't play their best game, but they also played insane at home throughout the playoffs. And also, I don't know who thought LeBron James was losing in Game 7.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to jinx that one. I kept my mouth shut, but I knew he was going to win. I had my faith. But seriously, you have the young guys. I'm pretty sure both Jalen Rose and Chauncey, picked the Cavs because of that reason. It's like you're going against LeBron.
And Paul Pierce, I'm assuming, picked the Celtics.
He wasn't in the studio because he was in Boston. Did you see the post-game interview? How speaking of salty?
Yeah.
How salty he looked.
That dude's fucking. They should change his name to Morton. That dude's so fucking salty. They should give that motherfucker an umbrella and some galoshes. It's raining salt on that guy,
dude. He was getting murdered on Twitter. I saw a tweet again. You always go to black people tweets for those. So some black person tweeted, Paul Pierce looks angrier than when he got stabbed by those dudes. Like he was that just disgruntled. We got to do some foreign calls. It's been a minute.
Okay.
We got some. Put on those headphones, Brano. They're quick hitters.
Foreign calls, as in calls from dirtballs from other countries.
No, as in broadcast calls.
Oh, okay.
We have one.
Foreign broadcasters.
We have one from Korea. We'll start with that one.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me. I should have guessed again. Remember how good I was at that game?
That was a good game. So this is LeBron's block on Rozier. It's a quick hitter. It's 9 seconds.
3대2 한번 에리 로지어 LeBron James
Let's do it again.
Yeah. At the end. Anytime you get the American name in there, it's great. LeBron James!
Banzai!
가르치기 성공 3대2 한번 에리 로지어 LeBron James
It's like
he said LeBron James from Russia.
it's like you know the old Jay Moore joke when he talks about Tracy Morgan, how the black guys always had S on his name.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you hear the Asian call, there's always a LeBron James son. like they just make it Asian. LeBron James. Why did you add 11 A's to the end of LeBron James? LeBron James. Banzai!
And then this is the big one that went viral. This is ESPN Brazil. It translates
Everything from Brazil goes viral.
Yes, including the chlamydia. You get that one, guys? Did we get that one? Is that what you're going for?
Sure.
Is that what you're going for? You were going for the STD joke, right?
I was going for more just it's a cesspool and malaria and whatnot, you know.
Oh, I thought you were going for STDs.
Sure, why not?
They did a lot
They
of
also fuck a lot too.
a lot of fucking over there. So I've heard. I need to go to Brazil. That's on my list. But Africa is still number one. I'm going to show up with the lines. They're going to accept me. I've never seen EJ shake his head so much at me during one episode. It's just disappointed. Just completely disappointed. Okay, so this is LeBron from ESPN Brazil. And what they keep saying at the end, the translation is, LeBron, you thief, you stole my heart.
Yeah.
So that's at the very end. But let's get to the whole thing.
James de novo, este fascínora, este vândalo, vai pro arremesso e é fatal! É fatal, papai Lebron! Lebron, ladrão, roubou meu coração! Lebron, ladrão, roubou meu coração!
What is it? Give it to me again.
It's LeBron, you thief, you stole my heart. But hold on.
I'm stealing that. I'm gonna make it. That's gonna be my call for when we start going back to live games. I'm gonna be like, LeBron, you thief, you stole my heart.
But hold on. I'm gonna replay the video. I want you to actually see it now. The third guy is like the production guy or whoever he is. He's like, oh, I got to do this too.
Yeah.
Because whenever you ever heard a broadcast where they just start doing a chant, that's what I love about foreigners.
Yeah.
Like you're not.
And they're also, by the way, it looks like they're there at the game, right?
They are.
Which is fantastic. Like, what is, you know, when people hear when we're doing the dirty sports, like your neighbors like close the window. I just imagine like the guy from Westwood One being like, the fucking Brazilians are screaming about LeBron's heart again.
Well, I'm going to play this. I want you to get the visual on this.
E este é LeBron James de novo, este fascínora, este vândalo, vai pro arremesso e é fatal! É fatal, papai Lebron!
Daddy LeBron.
Lebron, ladrão, roubou meu coração! Lebron, ladrão, roubou meu coração!
And the one dude in the middle is doing like the one dude in the middle is calling the game like he's Dirk at a post-game interview. Like he's in a Burka lounger. A Burka lounger, by the way. That's like a Barca lounger, except in the Middle East.
I feel like those guys, they look so relaxed. Like they just had, you know, they love their meat in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like they just had a big helping of meat, maybe got sucked off by a Brazilian prostitute, and now they're calling a basketball game.
Yeah.
You think ESPN sets that all up for them?
The prostitute! You stole my heart! Sounded like you called LeBron James a viper at one point, too.
I just like, you stole my heart.
Yeah. You thief, you stole my heart. Now, before we move on from basketball, I want the interns to pick up the microphone because, you know, what people forget is we have two interns. One's a Warriors fan, one's a Rockets fan. Trevor, not happy enough, if you ask me. EJ,
Trevor
not sad enough, if you ask me.
So stoned right now.
Both of these guys keeping it like
Trevor can't even open his eyes right now.
like
It's a lie.
if if the New York Knicks, well, let's just start with EJ because I will never begin to like comprehend what would happen if the Knicks made the finals at this point. But if they lost, there's no way I'd be here. There's no way I'm here if the Knicks loses the Eastern Conference Finals in the Game 7 to a
Bullshit. I'd make you come here.
No, I wouldn't be here.
Bro, we have
I'd be in the hospital. As a child, I watched the Knicks lose to the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was not good. My mom would be like, okay, look, that's it. Like, I'm cutting you off at 8 motherfuckers. Now go to your room and just don't come out until you stop calling everybody a cunt.
Well, so there was a point where I was considering texting Andy and being like, yeah, I don't think I can come tonight. But I knew that I made the commitment, so I had to come. The reason why I'm not like as sad as I should, I'm very, very upset about this. I just, no disrespect to Steph Curry because I do think that he's a phenomenal player. KD is such a punk ass bitch. He is the softest, like mentally. Like I look at that team and I'm like, you went to a team.
I tried, man. I tried. I tweeted him 40 times yesterday to take over.
It's like
he didn't listen.
I really like the Warriors before KD. Like that was an amazing little run they had, and that was what they did was incredible. Adding KD. Yeah, it's stupid to be like, oh, yeah, it's unfair, because, it lined up perfectly, and it worked for him. He got his ring. And all. He did not deserve his ring, does not deserve the ring that he will get again. And I hope that he goes I hope
fucking salty.
No,
he doesn't
I'm
deserve,
being honest.
Listen.
Listen.
He doesn't deserve his ring.
Kevin
He's
Durant.
on the team.
Kevin
He's the best
Durant
player on the team.
The best player on the team. Dude, that team, when Steph was out, Steph is the best player on that team by far. Kevin Durant is the better one-on-one player. Kevin Durant is the second best player in the league above and beyond. And I'm not taking anything away from him from that.
So then you're contradicting yourself.
No, he went to a team that was already stacked.
Hold on a second. Let's just assess what you just said. You just said that Kevin Durant is by far the second best player in the NBA,
league.
But he's not the best player on his team.
I'll take it back. Steph is the most important player on that team.
Okay.
The team does not go anywhere with KD at the helm. The team, because you saw
okay, because that's different.
That's what
I can
I'm saying.
work with that.
To me, that the team beforehand.
But no, it is different.
Ruth is like, we have a ruling. I'll let it pass.
The team beforehand, like that to me was like they were. That's how I remember the Warriors was. Well, how I will remember the Warriors is like with when Steph and Clay when they were the Splash Bros. Like that really was an amazing dynasty that came out of nowhere. No one expected it, and I can't take anything away from that. And I can't take they worked out, and any team would be lucky to sign Kevin Durant at that time for the deal that he took and whatever. But at the same time, it is a 73 win team. Like because I was watching the game with a friend and he said,
and you were right there. Like I know we can't play the what if game.
Yeah,
I always say that about when Jordan people. Oh, if he had said he won 8 straight. If Iguodala doesn't get hurt, it's a different series too. But you're right there. And if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt.
Well, and I'm not taking anything away. Like the Rockets completely shit the bed. Like going 0 for 27. That was the worst thing I've ever watched being a Rockets fan. Like to see them brick it after brick. I'm like, you were paid millions of dollars. Hit a shot, man. Like all they needed they hit that one after 28, and it was PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
Like you have Eric Gordon, you have James Harden, you have all these people that like Trevor Ariza 0 for 12 in the game.
Moment was too big.
And it's like it's insane, but there were certain things in that game that had they swung another way, like there were a lot of questionable calls. And like as a Harden fan, I've defended him, and I know a lot of times that he does get those calls, but regardless of that, like there were calls that were not consistent.
I'll say, and that's the one thing I'll give people who are out there who have call Harden a bitch or don't call. It's like it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of consistency. You have like if you're gonna make the call it all year, and if you're not gonna make the call, and maybe don't put. People were tweeting a lot of the basketball bloggers, a lot of the advanced metrics. The blog boys, as Kevin Durant calls them, who he hates so much. We're pointing out that Callahan, who's one of the refs, calls like a third as many of the fouls on Harden as any other referee in the league. You happen to have this game. But I'll give you the one thing, and I'm not making an excuse for the Rockets. And I was rooting for the Rockets, obviously. But you have to be consistent. And James Harden goes into that game, and suddenly... what has been a foul the whole year isn't a foul. I'll give you that. But look, we can play the what if game all the time.
It comes down to this.
It comes down to they missed 27 straight
Yes.
threes.
And in particular, Harden and Gordon were 4 of 25.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Think
Totally.
about if they just hit 4 more total. If they're 8 of 25, which is still awful, which is Kobe Bryant, NBA Finals 2010 Game 7. Look that shit up, fam. But yeah, like it's those kind of bad numbers.
And I agree totally. Like I am not saying that Harden, as the leader of this team, deserves a lot of the blame tonight because, I am the biggest Harden fan, and I will always love Harden.
Does Harden give you a hard on?
Yes, he does. His personality, though, he's gonna have to figure out how he's gonna overcome this because the fact is when they're just playing horrible, he realizes I'm the best player on this team. I have to do everything, and he trusts nobody else, and he dribbles the ball out, and he wastes the entire game, and then he takes these ridiculous shots, and as a leader of a team, you can't do that. And honestly, Chris Paul is not going to be here that long. He's on the wrong side of 30. Like, I love Chris Paul, and he has that fire and that energy, which is what we needed tonight. But if Harden is going to be the career-long rocket, he's going to have to figure out that fire. But that's my opinion on it. And
he should play Elton John's song "Rocket Man" when he comes out on the court.
I think that would probably hype him up. That would fix everything.
Right?
We should do that.
Sure.
It's a good
Fire
tune.
D'Antoni, you're the coach.
It's a good tune.
That's going to be it.
Who's going to see Elton John with me when he comes on tour next year? Because he's coming to L.A. I was already looking.
EJ's just handing the mic to Trevor because it looks like Trevor's going with you.
You'd see Elton John, right?
Sure, why not?
Go on SeatGeek, get some tickets. I was already looking.
Now, Trevor, your Warriors.
Man, you're just killing this ad vibe, Prano. I'm trying to just do a SeatGeek ad. You just fuck that shit.
Well, I'm just trying to get the blog boys out of the way.
You think I'm randomly bringing up Elton John right now? I mean, I'm trying to work in an ad read
I
here.
thought you were going into it, but then you just left too much space. Can't leave that kind of open space, bro.
Trevor, talk about the blog boys, then I'll do this ad.
What do you want to know? What do you like?
That's Trevor.
Well, I know you said earlier.
Trevor's super excited about going to the NBA.
You said I'm not
Finals.
excited. It's hard to get excited when you've already expected them.
Can we
to
talk
be
about
here.
who gives a shit about the game? Let's be honest. You did shrooms and that's what I want to talk about. You did shrooms at Joshua Tree with your girl.
Yeah.
Share that experience. That's a
Friday.
fun time.
That was a good time.
Yeah, what happened?
There was 2 other people. There were a couple other buddies there.
Okay.
It was good. We didn't get far. We only literally got about...
But you found random shrooms?
No.
Fucking
no.
What kind of shit is that, Ruther?
I thought I heard you walked into Joshua Tree and there was a patch of wild shrooms. And
Oh, well, apparently you know nothing about Joshua Tree. 1, no cows live there.
There's nothing
Yeah.
grows there
2,
besides
Yeah,
cactuses.
just let it go.
2, if you know how many fucking drug addicts go to Joshua Tree every day? If there was just mushrooms there, they wouldn't last long enough for fucking Trevor to find them.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to Joshua Tree.
It's a trek out there. It's far from
So
here.
where'd you get your shrooms from?
Literally a chick here in LA.
Okay. How much?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, what's her name?
Girlfriend's buddies got them for us.
Okay,
Her friends
gotcha.
got them.
I don't know if that'd be good for my brain now. I've done them twice,
I think they'd be good for you.
but
It enlighten you.
I laugh a lot when I'm on shrooms.
I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
I think it would be the best thing ever for you. You're in a much happier place, I'm sure, than the last time you did shrooms.
I did them in Las Vegas in 2008. That was a good time, actually. I was laughing so hard when I was puking. I was puking uncontrollably. You know that happens sometimes, and I couldn't stop laughing. My
As
buddy,
opposed to controlled puking. Good day, sir.
You know what we should do?
And a fine eve to you, man.
You know where we should do shrooms at?
where?
The Elton John concert.
See, my boy brings it. My boy brings it back, and you know I'm gonna get those tickets for Elton John on Seat Motherfucking Geek. That's right. You can also get those NBA Finals tickets on SeatGeek. I'm gonna go to a Reds Padres game this week. Get my tickets on SeatGeek. It's the only place I go to, Joe Prano. It's the only place the Dirtball should go to. In fact, we got a tweet today from what's his name? Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Indiana Dirtball. He was in Anaheim, used SeatGeek promo code DIRTY. And the reason you should use that is because you get $20 off your first ticket purchase. Shout out to Zach Keller at IU Fanatic.
Where was he? What game was he at?
Looks like he was down in Anaheim.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, Download the SeatGeek app and enter our promo code DIRTY today. That's promo code DIRTY for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Again, just download the app and enter that promo code in the settings tab. And that's promo code DIRTY for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase.
And I'm going to put it out there. Randy. I don't usually do things like this, but I'm going to put it out there. If anybody wants to buy me a ticket to the NBA Finals up in Oakland to watch my boy LeBron, I will buy beers for the whole game.
And I'm going to put it out.
All the big beers, too. Not the little ones, big ones with 22, 34, however many. Fuck, I'll bring beers to the parking lot. In fact, I'll give you an extra $20 cash on top of that SeatGeek rebate, and I'll buy all your beers. And I'll bring mushroom from Trevor's girl.
Well, I will put this out there. Anybody who wants to buy me tickets to Sir Elton John, yes, he is a knight, Sir Elton John. I will give you a handshake. And you can take a selfie with me. I'm not buying you beer. I'm just saying. Yeah, take you to Float Lab. We should go to Float Lab. Would you do Float Lab, Trevor? I think Trevor would do Float Lab with me. It seems like he's down for the experience. It's a good time, man. I'm telling you. Prino's not worthy of Float Lab, by the way. He's a diabolical hater.
I'm not a hater.
You're a hater.
I'm actually really glad that you do it. It's got you in a good place.
You questioned me the other day.
I don't know. You might have gone too far. It might have taken you now where you're posting Instagram quotes on Twitter.
There'll be more of those.
Yeah, I can't believe that didn't have flower emojis around it.
You know what's funny about that?
Peace hands.
You know what's funny about that tweet is a lot of dirtballs were saying who's the girl or what's the girl. It literally had nothing to do with the girl. It's just I'm just trying to get some wisdom out there. I don't always have to
get some wisdom out there.
I don't always have to be the sarcastic guy. But humans, we're like onions. There's lots of layers. Just trying to peel one layer back at a time. I can be the funny guy. I can be the guy in a thong shaking my dick in Savage Town. I can also maybe spit some knowledge. That's all I'm trying to bring to the table, guys. Speaking of knowledge.
And also like an onion, I might be allergic to you.
Speaking of knowledge, we need to catch up on our NHL knowledge.
Yes.
Our girl Alexis.
Oh, National Hockey League.
Yes.
I was like, oh, is that like racing?
We have a long overdue call. In fact, she's already on the line. Our hockey correspondent, Alexis. It's been, I think the last time she called in, I think Wayne Gretzky was actually still playing in the NHL.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute for sure.
So, Alexis, the NHL, I believe it's the Stanley Cup final. Like the
yes.
There's no S for some reason. I still don't know why that is, but has begun. It started tonight.
Yep, first game was tonight.
Is the game over?
It is.
Who
yes,
won?
The game. The Golden Knights won.
Oh wow!
I saw they won 6-4. But before we get to that, the actual final, can we talk about this team? I mean, this
I suppose.
By the way, we were one game away. We were one Lightning win away from Prenostradamus' strip club prediction being right. And then the Bolts, as they're called, just didn't want to be in there. They didn't want the lap dance finals. So now we got the fucking Capitals.
I forgot about that strip club prediction. That would have been pretty exciting.
You know what I didn't forget though, Alexis? I didn't forget that Joe and I were always big team Vegas Golden Knights. You, for some reason, before the season started, you for some reason were a hater. And what happened?
Okay. Here, I've been thinking about this a lot because I knew I was going to get this question and the Alexis is a hater insult. And I feel like I should clarify the distaste I have for this. So I have nothing against the team. I have nothing against the guys on the team. In fact, some of the guys I really like. Like, I love Marc-Andre Fleury. I think he's a great goaltender. I just think he's a super cool guy all around. Some of these guys have won Stanley Cups before. Some haven't. Either way, I have nothing against the team. And I think it's super cool that an expansion team has come in and done what they've done because it's a sports story. It's not just a hockey story. It's like, people who don't pay attention to sports or don't pay attention to hockey have been talking about the Golden Knights. And that's really cool because they're drawing intrigue, from people who watch other sports or who never watch sports to begin with. And that's a cool story. The problem I have with this is the fans, because as a sports fan, and you guys can attest to this too, and, being a sports fan is hard and it's stressful, and you go through ups and downs, and you watch your team lose, and if you're lucky enough, you watch your team win a championship, and some people never get to experience that joy, and some get to experience it a lot. These fans come into this, maybe they were fans of other teams before because they didn't have a team in Vegas, or maybe they were never fans of hockey. Maybe they watched a hockey game for the first time in their life.
Gettysburg Address.
This is like when we play basketball. I want to be like, relax.
I was thinking about this a lot. I had this prepared.
I can tell. This is like a soliloquy.
She had notes. You had made notes, Alexis, didn't you?
Do you get index cards over there?
I don't have any index cards.
All right. Sorry. I rudely interrupted you. Finish your sermon on the Mount.
Moral of the story, I'm very upset that fans have not experienced the suffering and they've gone straight to the excitement, because as a sports fan, the suffering is a big part of being a sports fan, and I think it's a little unfair that they get to experience the joy before they've gotten any suffering. So that's the point.
Well,
of that
there's
story.
also, the flip side of that coin is that you can almost say none of these people are really fans yet, right? Like you can't, you're not a fan of something that you've been following for 8 months. Like, I'm becoming a fan. I'm like, it's exciting that they're in the finals, but the final, Jesus, I'm going to just do that. It's like SATs or RBIs. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I totally get it. There's also there's two potential things at work here though. One, they win. And then there's always like they won in their first season ever and didn't win again for 80 years. Vegas no longer has gambling, and the Paris hotel burned to the ground. Or they lose, and we all know how hard it is in sports to just get back to to the final of anything. So there's potential for real devastation here. But they're up 1-0.
Yep. Yeah, and I get the point you're making. Somebody actually said that to me today too about, they're not really fans. Like they just started watching. Like I said, some of them may have never watched a hockey game before Vegas came, or the team came to Vegas. And it's funny because there was a goal that the Caps scored today, and they were showing a replay, and the guy sitting right behind the glass, Golden Knights fans were smiling. I'm like, if this were me in the finals and my team got scored on, I'd be in literal tears. So it's just like you see some of these things and the way some of these fans act at the game, and it's like, you're right. Some of them, they're here for, the excitement, and if their team wins, great. But even if the team loses, they're not going to feel that same devastation that people who are fans
be
of the
like,
team
we made
forever.
it to the final in our first season.
For them, it's kind of, like at this point, anything is good. And if something bad happens, oh, well, there's, it's the first season.
I believe you millennials call how you're acting right now is salty.
Yes, that is what we would call it. And yes, I am.
Salty with your coffee. Now, Alexis,
I can't believe you're not drinking salted coffee at this point, Ruther, with all the Joe Rogan you listen to. He said, dump a bunch of salt in it. It'll raise your brain power. Only if you do it in a hyperbaric chamber, though, while you're sleeping upside down.
Well played, Joe Prano. Well played. Now, Alexis, I was also overtaken by the story, like you said, which was a great point. All sports fans. Now, I texted my buddy.
Yep.
Quick background. I'm not going to release his name to protect his family. He's a Canadian. He's a former minor league player. So I texted him. I said, how are they so good? And this is what he said. He said, combination of many things. They handpicked the team they wanted around the type of hockey they wanted to play. Great coaching. All guys had a chip on their shoulder because they weren't protected by their team. And great goaltending. Would you say that's pretty much what happened this year?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing is, a lot of people keep saying like, oh my God, it's so amazing that they made it to the finals. Like, who would have thought? And there is that side of it. But the other side too is these guys are talented guys. It's not like these guys came from the AHL and have never played a professional hockey game in their whole life or, anything like that. These guys, like I said, there's guys on the team who've won Stanley Cups. There's guys on the team who've played in the playoffs before. There's guys on the team who've been in the league for a while. So it's not like these guys came out of nowhere and hit the, NHL ice for the first time and all of a sudden made it to the finals. That's not the kind of story we're seeing here. We're just seeing a team who's never played together before make it this far, which is incredible. And I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but a lot of people overlook the fact that these guys are talented players. They have a lot of talent on the team, and they were lucky to be able to click as a team on the first try here and get this far. And that's pretty incredible that they were able to do that. So yeah, I would agree 100% that there's a lot of different factors that play into why they made it this far. And there's actually a guy on the team who made a comment that they're misfits. Because, they were exposed by their team and they ended up on Vegas. And I was talking to my dad about this, and we're both kind of annoyed by that term misfits, because the teams, everybody had to expose people. They didn't have a choice to be like, oh, no, sorry, you're not going to take anybody from our team. That wasn't an option. You had to expose people. And the people that got exposed are obviously going to be your third and fourth liners, some second liners, maybe depending on the situation. So it's not like they're misfits. The teams didn't have a choice. They had to give people up. And a lot of these guys were good players who just didn't have the opportunity on the team they were on because there was guys who were a little bit better than them, who were the first liners and second liners. So yeah, these guys are talented and they all end up on a team together, and they use that talent to their advantage to get them this far in the playoffs, and it is pretty incredible.
Well, let's talk about the Capitals for a minute. I don't know anything about hockey, but I do know this is Ovechkin's first Stanley Cup final, correct?
Yep. Yeah, they the last time the team made the finals was in 1998. They lost to the Red Wings. They got swept. And this is Ovechkin's first trip. It's Barry Trotz, their coach, his first trip to the finals. And Ovechkin, you mentioned that the Golden Knights players are playing with a chip on their shoulder, and that's kind of what Ovechkin is doing as well. I mentioned in my call before the playoffs started that getting past the Penguins has been their biggest nemesis, and they haven't been able to do it. And they finally did it this year. They beat Columbus in the first round, and then they beat the Penguins, and then they came back and beat the Lightning and made it to the finals. And Ovechkin has just been playing with a chip on his shoulder as well. And once they got past the Penguins, I thought they would be able to beat the Bolts as well, because that was kind of their biggest hurdle that they were trying to get over.
Or real quick, we could say Ovechkin has been playing with a Kremlin on his shoulder.
Sure, we could say that as well if you'd like to.
If that were a synonym for chip in any language.
No, it's I'm playing off Gremlin, but it's Kremlin. Did we see what I did there, guys?
Does anybody say playing with gremlin on their shoulder?
I'm just making things up. Anyway.
Oh,
didn't you?
I mean, you know what? It was the sad part is like the salt thing just crushed, and then you came back with a Kremlin gremlin reference. Like, well, you know what they say about Ovechkin? Don't feed him at night when he's with the Kremlin. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Don't you miss these calls?
Water turns to ice, and if the Kremlin gets wet, he gets angry.
It's been far too long.
And then
since,
the goals multiply.
I'm just trying to keep Alexis on her toes over there. So,
yeah.
I can just hear you laughing. This is great. Who do you like in this series? Now, obviously, the Golden Knights are up 1-0 now. Where do you see this headed?
So I don't know. I have a couple thoughts on this. The game was a really fun game to watch. It was back and forth. I mean, 10 goals scored in a Stanley Cup final game is a lot of goals because, it tightens up.
I believe they're just called goal, even when they're plural, once you get to this stage of the playoffs. 10 goals were scored.
You don't see a lot of high scoring like that as it gets further along into even the season. Towards the end of the regular season, you see it tighten up a bit. And then especially once you get into the playoffs, a 10-goal game is a pretty big game. And it was back and forth. I don't think there was any one team who really dominated. It wasn't like I thought, either team had their backs against the wall. It was a very competitive game. The ice was really fluky just because Vegas is so hot. That kind of messes up the ice, and the Caps aren't used to playing on ice like that. They were constantly having to fix the ice, and it makes the puck bounce and roll in ways that they're not used to. So I think that takes a little getting used to. I thought,
are they playing in the desert or indoors? Like, what? How does that still happen? Is that the same problem in Phoenix?
Yeah. Places like Arizona deal with it. California, it's definitely a thing. It's just
like ground heat from underneath, or
I'm not sure what it is. That's got to be what it is.
Fascinating.
Yeah, they have to, the ice chips up easier and they have to go out and resurface the ice more often. And it does cause problems. It makes the puck roll, it makes the ice soft. It's hard to skate on. It's hard to move the puck around. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. And it's for a team who plays, in Washington, D.C. As their home ice. They're not used to that same kind of extreme heat where it's making the ice a little bit softer than usual. So I think that takes a little bit of getting used to. I definitely noticed
Trevor
it tonight.
Actually had to deal when we went to Arizona. His drinking was affected the same way.
Is that so?
Yeah, he was bouncing around the hotel room after because of the heat.
Yeah, it definitely messes with you, and if you're not used to it, it can cause you some issues for sure. I thought Fleury looked great. Holtby was a little bit questionable. He was having some trouble with his rebound control, and that's a little concerning against a team like Vegas, who's really good at pushing offensively. And a couple times that caused him some issues and led to a couple goals. I thought game one was really interesting. I think at this point it could go either way. I was kind of interested to see how Vegas would, handle the finals and how the Caps would come out, because this is, new experiences for a lot of these guys as well. But are you laughing at the whole plural thing that I'm dealing with?
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking about it. I'm second guessing everything I'm saying. But yeah, they made a comment in the pregame show about how the team who won the first game of the past 6 finals ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So that got me kind of thinking as I'm watching the game, okay, is that going to happen again? And if that is true, Vegas will end up winning the Stanley Cup. So I guess we'll have to see.
I have a question for you, because obviously this is also a big time of year for basketball. So I wonder, because I don't watch hockey, nor am I in touch with hockey social media or the general sense around hockey. Are there cheddar dick hockey fans who are like, I'd love to see Ovechkin play without a helmet when players were tougher?
That's funny you say that, because I don't see that argument with hockey.
It's weird. It's almost like hockey fans know what the fuck they're talking about.
And hockey, just like every other sport, has changed dramatically.
I'd like to see Fleury play in that Friday the 13th mask.
Yeah,
see you stop pucks in a Halloween mask, buddy. Flopper.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just the feeds that I have on Twitter and what I'm seeing, but I don't really think I've ever had that conversation with somebody or seen people arguing in that way.
You've never seen terms like, oh my God, Sidney Crosby, he's not hard-nosed, he doesn't have the killer instinct, he's not tenacious, nobody bodies him up.
You do see arguments like that in the sense where they're saying, oh, they're not tough enough or they're not fast enough, but it's never like a comparison to how things used to be.
Yeah.
And, I think that's kind of, cool that people can pull that out of an argument and just kind of say, here's what we have now, here's how it is now. I mean, if there was an interesting interview that the NHL did earlier in the season that they've kind of played during intermission throughout several games over the course of the year, where they interviewed some older hockey players like Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, I think Bobby Orr, and then they had also Sidney Crosby and Jonathan Toews, and it was a roundtable discussion where they kind of talked about how the game has changed and, what would it be like if Sidney Crosby played, back in the old days, or if Wayne Gretzky played in the current days. And it was just kind of a cool discussion hearing these guys from different eras of hockey talk about how difficult it might be to play in a certain stage, or, just the competition level. But it's never an argument over it. It's just more of a interesting discussion to talk about.
Well, Alexis, we appreciate the call.
Yeah.
We'll hear from you in about 6 years.
Yeah, cool.
No, we have
Hope
to.
you
We have
guys
to
are
do.
doing
We
well.
have to do a post-series wrap-up.
Well,
no,
of course we will. And that's one Andy Ruther Dirty Sports guarantee that will actually happen.
I mean, I got to say, I'm rooting for Vegas simply because the cup, the excitement of the cup moving around Vegas. That's my favorite part of hockey.
Yes.
Is the post
when everyone gets a day with the cup.
Yeah, everybody gets to take out the cup.
Yeah.
Taking it in Vegas, where are you taking it in D.C. to the Jefferson fucking Memorial? Hey, look, there's Abe Lincoln with a cup on his lap.
If I had the cup, I'd for sure do two things. I'd for sure teabag it. I'd put my balls in it.
And you'd for sure take it to an isolation chamber where the cup would meditate with you.
No. I would also, after teabagging, I'd eat a big bowl of cereal out of it.
Phil Kessel ate hot dogs out of it last year, so that was pretty cool.
See?
Yeah.
Get a big old bowl of cereal. That'd be great. Alexis, where can people harass you on social media?
Yeah, if you want to yell at me because I'm a girl and I like sports, you can go to Twitter at Alexis Mariana.
Wait, say it again. I was laughing.
Shot fired in honor of the Stanley Cup final. Shot fired.
At Alexis Mariana on Twitter, MIRJANA. Same thing on Instagram. Yeah, give me a follow, talk hockey with me, yell at me if you want. I don't really care.
I like it. I've noticed a change in you. It's more. You've turned into more of a badass.
Yeah.
I love this.
She's more
I
come
just
at me,
accept
bros.
it for what it is.
Yeah, you're like, I have my coffee and I'm ready to fuck some shit up.
That's basically how I feel most of the time, actually.
See, exactly. Well, Alexis,
Yeah.
thank you for the call, and we will be in
Yeah,
touch
no
soon.
problem.
Is it safe
All
to
right,
say
sounds
you would
good.
have you'd have an iced latte out of the cup if you if you ever won the cup?
I think it's safe to say, yeah. Yeah.
All right, Alexis, get some sleep. We're going to keep
All right.
thrusting on the show.
Sounds good. See you later, guys.
Later.
Bye.
We're gonna keep thrusting on the show. She's like, "Okay, buddy, you have fun over there."
Well, Prano, did you learn some things?
I learned everything. I learned who was playing in the Stanley Cup final. I learned who's winning.
Do you remember what you said when the year started?
No.
You don't remember when the NHL year started?
No, did I say I was gonna watch hockey?
You said, "I promise this year I'm getting into it." Like you made this big plea that you were getting into it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. The NHL, they don't make it easy. They were playing playoff games on the Golf Network. Like, I'm not saying no one's watching hockey, but like, you're on a less popular sports network, which is proof, I guess, that it's not less popular, right? Like, there is no NHL network, or is there?
There is.
I don't know. Is there?
Yes.
How come they don't play games on that shit?
Well, the NHL's main deal is with NBC, Universal, but no, I would assume more people.
Next year, though.
No, more. I guarantee you, more people watched the Stanley Cup because it was on NBC versus TNT tonight.
Well, you think more people watched the hockey game than the basketball game?
I do. No. I do.
I don't think so.
Am I completely out of my mind on this?
Yeah.
Because I'm
probably.
thinking one's on NBC and one's on TNT.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it might be close just simply because of the broadcasting, but I don't think it'll be. Game 7, I don't think so.
Really? Are we saying just U.S. or U.S. and Canada? Just U.S.
Well, then, I mean, yeah, then we go worldwide. Like, I mean, where are we doing? Where are we getting our ratings from?
Fuck, I'm just saying.
Worldwide, we all know that. I mean, there's certainly no one in the booths of that hockey game like, Ovechkin, you stole my heart and my eyes, like, or whatever. Like, there was no Brazilian,
my eyes.
there's no Brazilian broadcaster. Yeah, because that's what gremlins do.
Good callback. Good callback. Gremlins.
The Gremlin. You stole my eyes and took them to the Kremlin.
What happened to that chick from Gremlins? She was hot. She was also in Drop Dead Fred. The chick from Gremlins.
Oh, really? Is that who it
Yeah.
was? Yeah.
Heidi. Is it Heidi? I don't know. Big fan of 80s. Big fan of
Drop
80s.
Dead. Just a Drop Dead Fred reference on us.
Trevor, it's too hot in here. He's opening the window. Don't.
Yeah.
But we can't be too loud here. This is the problem. My neighbors.
Okay, well, we already talked basketball. We already talked hockey. So I think all the excitement's cooled down from here.
I'm glad-
Next year, though, with the hockey, bro.
You gonna do it?
Next year's my hockey year.
Really?
No NFL.
Well, this whole no NFL. This is right now a fluid process. There's still things that are going to happen with the NFL. I'm not as worried. I'm not going to be as dramatic about you. I was definitely, I hate, and I said that last episode, I am firm in my stance on how I feel about everything, but I think things are still going to change.
Okay, well, they better, because you've been very critical of the people always who bitch and complain and like, oh, you don't really care about domestic violence if you fucking keep watching. You don't really care about whatever. And
I've been critical myself. Yeah, I said I clearly don't.
And look, my mom wasn't abused, and I never abused anybody, and my sister wasn't abused, and I don't. Look, you're right. It doesn't fucking hit home, and those guys get suspended for it, and whatever. And I feel like maybe as shitty a job as they're doing, they're trying. But this was a blatant and overreaching attack on freedom in America, and so till they sort that out.
But they will.
Well, I better hope so. Or else Trevor's gonna be picking games with you next year.
I have scheduled a.
I'm already looking into fucking getting an Aussie Football League subscription.
Well, I've scheduled an
Figure out
owners
what
meeting.
VPNs are.
I've scheduled a Venice Beach Float Lab owners meeting.
Yeah.
I think they all need some time in the Float Lab to decompress a little, and plus it might kill them all, which might be a benefit.
I don't know if you heard, they're actually a lot of the Make America Great Again people are attacking the float labs because apparently you're lying down during that. It's very disrespectful.
Yes.
To veterans everywhere. I don't know if you know, but everybody who's related to a veteran sleeps standing up like a bat.
I do want to give some love to Prano's new philosophy for blocking people on Twitter. I want to say it was life changing.
Yeah, we are all the Kimbe Mutombo.
I mean,
like Spartacus. Like I'm Dikembe.
I came home last night. And,
No, I'm Dikembe.
And I saw.
My fingers aren't even long enough to do the Dikembe. I have to like move my whole hand. He was like doing the fucking.
What about baby fingers over
Yeah.
here? It's like a fucking. It's like a small carrot.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at these things. Girls are still amazed when I point it out to girls. Like if I'm on a date or if I'm seeing a girl, and she's like, "Oh my god, your hands." I'm like, "Yep, I got a small dick too." Anyway,
You're like, stop looking at my hands. Look at the lines in my head. And they're like, what the fuck is happening?
So I got home after the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, and my mentions, of course, were on fire because I had a lot of pro LeBron. And you're right, Prano. There is no better feeling than when I see a faceless troll. And it's now to the point with me, by the way, I don't want to turn my Twitter feed into an echo chamber. I'm open to different opinions. But I just have very simple requirements, just like Joe set up. You either need you need your real face. That's my only requirement. But when you come at me and say, "Look, bitch,"
I mean, face and name, preferably.
Yeah. Face
or name. Like, look, I get a lot of people like, I'm at Fix Your Life, but I put my name. Like, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat here. But like, if you're not a real name and not a real face, and you're annoying me, I'll give you 4 pictures in your media to have something that might identify you, or poof, you're fucking out.
But here's what's
fuck out of
great.
here.
A lot of people still aren't understanding it.
Yeah.
Still fellow dirtballs. Guys, it's real simple. You can't be a dick or critical or whatever. You're just getting blocked if you don't show yourself. And I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm Team Prano 100% on this. At first I was like, yeah, it's a little harsh. But no. Why should I care about your opinion? If you don't have the balls to
stand
actually
for it.
Show yourself.
It's like, it's not a real opinion, right?
It's not.
Like, it's the idea that you're just going to be a person who just goes, "Ma!" And it's like, when people say like, "Oh, that's a bot," that's about like, whether you're a real person behind that or not, you're essentially a bot because you don't stand for your opinion.
Yeah.
You're not standing for your opinion. You're just going like, "No, this is what I think." It's like, who thinks this?
Who thinks
Who
this?
are you?
The meme of Terry Rozier?
Yeah. I don't
know who that is.
Yeah.
I mean, even today, somebody came at me over. Again, what's great about this whole strategy that Prano has formulated, it's not just sports. It's not even close to sports. Somebody called me dumb today, and I looked. Oh, you're a picture of a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, and I saw. Oh, you follow Joe. You follow me. You're probably dirtball. Blocked. You called me.
Yeah.
You called me dumb, and you don't show your face.
You're not smart enough to know how to take a selfie, upload it to Twitter.
But you are. You're just fat and ugly. Yeah. You don't have the balls to show lines in your head like me, like my current profile pic.
See? And basically what Andy's doing with the lines in his head, he's like, it doesn't get worse than this. Put a picture up of yourself.
Yeah. It doesn't get any worse than this. Let's get to some calls, and I have actually a faceless troll-related call.
Oh, great.
But before we do that, I just want to say I love your Flag and Anthem outfit today, Prano.
Full Flag and Anthem.
Flag and Anthem.
These are my new Flag and Anthem shorts. This is my first time wearing them.
Looking fresh.
I really like these shorts. I don't know what they're called, but they're fantastic. And then this, look at this. 2 hot chicks, surfboards, asses out, thigh gaps.
That's it.
I have 2 thigh gaps on my T-shirt right now.
That's like an OG Flag and Anthem shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't rock it a lot because I never know what I rock this shirt with. Found a great pair of shorts that are brand new on the Flag and Anthem website. Rock them, and I was like, ooh, that shirt would go great with these shorts.
Yeah, love it. Guys, you can look just as fresh as Joe. Just go to flagandanthem.com and drop promo code DIRTY to get 25% off your first order. We began some great tweets from Dirtballs. Again, it will be in the description of the podcast in case you forget. It's promo code DIRTY. Go to flagandanthem.com, drop that promo code. And, I'm excited because it's near the end of the month. We get to pick out some new gear.
And you know what? I got to say to Dirtballs out there, get yourself some Flag and Anthem. Get a whole outfit. Get jeans, get shirts, get a hat, get a hoodie, get some outerwear, and take a picture of that. And then you won't be so embarrassed to put up a picture on Twitter. You know? Like, I get it.
But my job doesn't allow me to wear flag and anthem. My job. If I hear one more, my job.
I love everybody looks like everybody works. All these dirtballs work for the CIA. You don't know the difference between there and there, but you work for the CIA.
My little brother doesn't show his face on Twitter, but he pretty much doesn't troll ever.
Right.
That's the one. By the way, Mark, if you're listening, we all know who you are. Like they know.
Is he Mark Ruther on Twitter?
No, he's not. I'm not going to give out his Twitter handle. I think some of the dirtballs have figured it out. Show your goddamn face. How did I raise you?
But the other thing is, there's people. I get that Twitter is a thing where you can create a feed, right, of your interests and follow it. So if you want to be at Dickbag1 and it'll be a picture of like a fucking American flag or whatever, cool. Just don't ever write anything to me.
Yeah.
Just read. If you want to just read things anonymously, that's cool. Read things anonymously.
Well, let's get to the calls. We have a call about it. We need a clarification from you, Prano.
Love that. What am I clarifying? I can't even. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, let's see what he has to say.
I should have read the rundown. Was there a rundown today?
No comment.
Hey guys, it's number one Vikings fan Joey. I was just listening to episode 419, and Joe Prano said that if you're a faceless troll, or if you have a fake name, that he doesn't value your opinion, you can fuck off. My question is, if you have a fake name but a real picture of yourself, does that make you a worthless troll and your opinion doesn't matter? Thanks for taking my call. Condoms are for Aaron Rodgers.
I think there's more people on Twitter that are afraid to show their picture than are afraid to have their name up there.
Yeah, it's way more.
And rightfully so, I imagine. But, look, I think the honorable thing to do here is to stand for your opinions. And having your name and your picture is a great way to do that. But I would certainly say, if you got a fucking picture that's like reasonable, it's not like you from the end of a fucking, from the other side of a football field or whatever. It's like, that's me with my puppy 200 yards away.
It's you know what that's like? You and I always laugh about this. It's the girl on Bumble who has 3 pictures and they're all terrible, like they're all blurry, and then it's a group of friends and you're like, which chick are you?
Hold on. The dating app group pic is one thing. The bro group pic on Twitter might be the bottom of the barrel of like human worthlessness. You're on Twitter and your profile picture is you and 4 other dudes in fucking button-down shirts, like outside of a high school party. Like, is this 4 dudes that fucking circle jerk together? Is this all your opinions? First one to jizz on the cookie gets to write the next tweet. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, it's just me and my bros. Oh, so in your life, the best and only picture of your face that's worth sharing is you with a bunch of dudes, like 17-year-olds smoking cigars outside of the frat house. Oh, man.
Prano just lost 35% to 60% of our audience.
Just put up a fucking picture. You know what? The thing is, like, it's not that hard. If I didn't have a picture, I could take one right now with my phone of me with these fucking headphones on and be like, look, now I got a picture up close of my face. Look, here we go.
I mean, it's real simple.
Look at that. I just have one. Look at that. That should be my new profile picture.
That's a
double chin and all.
That's a creepy looking picture.
Face. Yeah. But you can do it. Sorry. The only one that saved my phone was me and my frat boys from... The guy took a picture. Was standing on a deck. We're standing down below by a beer pong table. It's a pretty epic day, though.
I don't know, man. The blurry female ones on Bumble. You just like when a girl has 3 blurry ones. You want to be like, you're just right. I'm ugly.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even trying to be an asshole. Just right. I'm ugly.
Oh, I would be swiping when I used to be on the dating apps. I would swipe and I'd be like, you know what? This isn't even about you physically. Like
you don't know how to operate a camera.
Yeah, if you're an adult and you don't know how to take a crisp picture of yourself.
You're mentally challenged.
Yeah, I can't. What will we talk about? I'd be like, oh, so here's how camera works.
Not to mention, if you have sex with her, like you can't be having sex with a handicapped person.
Yeah.
Like there's some kind of law against that. I'm pretty sure. It's unbelievable.
I kind of want you to match with one of them now and just show up and be like, you don't look anything like your picture. What is with these crisp features? This is like a high-def version of you. I was looking for more of the grainy.
But I don't even get the end game of the lying pictures anyway.
Yeah.
No. Let's do this real quick. Let's play this out. I don't get this. And this goes for both genders. I don't get the guy who shows up 50 pounds heavier or the girl who shows up 50 pounds heavier. Like, what do they think the reaction's going to be? I've always wondered this. What's the reaction going to be, Prano? You go on a date.
I told you it happened to me in New York. Like the one Bumble Tinder date I ever had in New York. The girl showed up. She knew. She said it. She goes, do I look like what you think I... First she goes, you look exactly like your pictures. I go, yeah, that's how photographs in fucking 2015 work. This isn't... I didn't have to stand still while some guy fucking lit a lamp. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't the 1800s. Like, somebody didn't do a fucking painting of me in Rembrandt lighting. Like, that's a photograph of me. She goes, do I look just how my picture? Well, no, you're fat in your pictures. You were not fat. I didn't say you were fat, but I was like, no, I think we both know.
You hit 2 chains, you're like, you're different.
Yeah.
Even though I'm different. You know what I'm saying.
And then I invited her to come to a comedy show, and I was like, you can still come to the comedy show if you want, but...
You're like, I get extra money, more audience members.
I mean...
I get a kickback.
Look, I already put you on the list, so technically, if you want to come...
I just don't...
Maybe one of the other comics likes fat chicks.
I just don't get that end game.
Yeah.
It's just an odd end game. You know what it is. This is what it is. I figured it. I just figured it out. I know what the end game is with those girls. They hope for idiot, savage guys like me. Because a lot of times I'll think in my head, as awful as this is, I'll think, well, I already met her for dinner. Yeah, she's fatter. I might as well still have sex with her. Like I know that sounds awful and shallow and base. I'm just being honest here. My mindset is like, well, I dropped $70 on dinner. I might as well throw it in. Like, I know that sounds awful, but that's what they're going for.
Well, let me tell you something that I've figured out recently, Andy. Sometimes it's better to just say, I was wrong, than I'll fuck this gross Tinder girl.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. Who's wrong in that situation?
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, I'm just trying to spread the word. It's a lot harder to say I'm wrong than I love you. Just tell people you love them. I love you, LeBron James, right? See, Prano? It's that easy. Okay.
That's like a double. First you had to wear that. Like, well, let's keep going.
Okay. You want to get a call from overseas? It's been a minute. Hooligan ball. Remember Sam?
Yeah. I thought Sam was dead.
Brexit shit was real. He left for a while. He's back.
Hi, Dan, Andy. It's the hooligan ball. I ain't called in a while, but I'm still listening. I just got a quick question. Is it okay for you to hate the fan base of your own team or your favourite team? Because I'm a Panthers fan, and I can't fucking stand Panthers fans on Twitter, man, because they're such cheddar-dicks. There was this one guy who was trying to say that he'd watched the Panthers Instagram story, and from that he thought that the team was gelling really well, and he thought it was going to be a really special year because of what they put on their fucking Instagram story. And I just thought it was really stupid. It really pissed me off. So is it okay to hate your own fan base? That's it, really. Condoms, I'm in a good mood. Condoms are for no one. But shout out to Trev and Fake Twitter. I love you guys. I can't remember Fake Twitter's name. I'm sorry.
Weird Twitter.
Fake Twitter? No, fake Twitter is all the faceless trolls who want to argue with us. That's fake Twitter.
That's fake Twitter right there. It's fake Twitter.
EJ.
Sad. Yeah. I hate...
So you probably hate a lot of your own fan base.
I don't know if I hate Mets fans, but I kind of hate Mets fans. Mets fans, the one thing I'll give the Mets fans is I feel like they're a knowledgeable fan base, but it's just such a pessimistic fan base. And I get it. I get that the Mets are a kind of a cursed franchise, and they have terrible ownership. And the last World Series we had would have been a dynasty if the entire team didn't hooked on crack. But the pessimism, it's like sometimes that I feel like that gets spread to your players a little bit. As much as we all say, "Oh, these athletes don't read it," we know. Fucking Kevin Durant's out there with 11 fake Twitter accounts. Like, people are reading this shit, and sometimes the pessimism really fucking wears on me. So, yeah, I mean, I don't hate Giants fans. I think Giants fans are relatively good. Knicks fans can be a little pessimistic too, but Knicks fans are right. Like, God, that is a truly cursed franchise. But Mets fans, man, they bother me sometimes. The pessimism, I can't. I need a little more positivity in my life.
I don't like the stupidity of the Cincinnati Bengals fans.
Yeah.
This year. You're like, what? No, there's not ever going to be a this year. You guys are fucking morons. Stop going to the game. Don't support this idiot.
Well, you're a Rams fan, so I don't know what.
Well, no shit, but.
Just saying.
Yeah, and I'm bringing in my hometown. What the fuck's your problem, Trevor? Why you gotta be a dick?
I have no problem. I was just saying. You should have thrown in the Reds. Just saying, you're a Reds fan. You're not a Bengals fan anymore. You're a Rams fan, supposedly.
I am a Rams fan.
I am a Rams fan. Can we get that? Fucking we pull all these gifts from there. I am a Rams fan. The lean in.
But they also have only been here 2 years. I don't have enough to say about Rams fans. Like.
I mean, you could hate Rams fans.
The Rams fans,
I find them.
That's what I'm going to say. These are the two Rams fans I know. And
Rams fam. Why don't they go with that, by the way? Why don't they call Rams fans the Ram fam?
The only two I know could not be more
It's lit,
different.
Rams fam.
The two Rams fam I know are Joe Schiavelli and Jesus. Like, could they be two more different types of people?
No.
I almost want to go with just a random call. Some calls have popped up.
I think, by the way, I didn't see this message. I got it since we brought him up. I got to shout out Jesus because I didn't see this till today. He Instagram messaged me today. Apparently, he got blocked on Twitter, or he got suspended on Twitter yesterday. I think for going after some crazy cat lady under my Danica Patrick tweet. So shout out to fucking Jesus.
He DM'd me
Turned down for never, bro.
He DM'd me last night.
I missed out. There were so many fucking crazy replies. And it's funny because I mentioned all the replies I was getting, and people was like, I don't even see them. It's like, yeah, because dumb cat ladies always quote tweet, try to rally their 3 blog readers to fucking come at you, too.
Well, he's still on right now.
I think he was suspended for 24 hours, though. That's what they do now.
Well, I did really enjoy myself last night. That was literally me in bed. I saw your initial tweet, I favored it, but I missed all the replies. So I opened my phone. I mean, you must have responded to 20 to 25 people, huh?
Yeah. I mean, did you go to my replies?
Yes.
Yeah, because there was. I replied to more people than were even in the thread because so many of these dumb fucking twats, like, literally quote tweeted and was like, "Oh, white man thinks making fun of women still funny in 2018. Cool story."
Yeah, but you said this today when we were watching the Rockets-Warriors game, and I agree. It like makes you want to write tweets that are just going to trigger people.
You know what? It's funny because when I wrote it, like that wasn't even.
You have a big grin when you're writing it. Like,
I wasn't even writing that to necessarily trigger people, but it's like I did the Danica Patrick parallel park joke, and the last time she crashed at Indy, I did like I didn't even know NASCAR's had a vanity mirror. Like, this isn't a hack joke, or this isn't a trigger you joke. This is literally like, that's my Norm Macdonald moment on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm just like, I'm going to make the joke that everybody is thinking, but no one will make. I mean,
but you're right, because everyone's too big of a pussy now.
You know what is hilarious? Forget crazy cat lady feminists, like who, I mean, literally have no sense of humor because, God forbid, white women in America who have had literally everything fucking handed to them and none of the work should ever hear anything wrong about them. But the male feminist is my favorite. The male feminist is my favorite fucking responder. I'm like, dude, this isn't getting you laid because feminists fucking stink.
Oh, it's
They're
so
not
true.
blowing you over fucking defending them on Twitter.
It was like last year when the Women's March happened. I tweeted.
You remember when it was Charlie who made the gif of me slapping people going, kill yourself.
It's amazing.
Kill yourself. That's what I would do to any one of these dudes that fucking ever came and talked to me in real life.
It's like it's the same thing when I tweeted during the Women's March. I won a 24-hour live cam on women trying to parallel park for the Women's March.
Yeah.
It's the same exact premise like you're saying, where you're going for the base joke, but no one has the balls to write it.
Yeah.
And you just laugh. And you just, dude, you laugh. Dude,
I've made the joke like 40 times. It's like it's Norm Macdonald and OJ. Like I'll never stop making
or me and OJ, and OJ and Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, I'll never stop making the Danica Patrick can't drive because she's a woman joke. Never.
Yeah. Never. Nor should you ever stop doing that.
Yeah.
It's a fucking funny joke.
Also, she's never won a goddamn thing. Like she literally has won one race in her entire professional career.
Well, this is
and
how
I'm certain male drivers hate her.
This is how I look at it, Prano, and this might sound cocky, but I don't care. When these people get so worked up and they're so bent out of shape, I know, like, when people come at me, I get pleasure off knowing, like, look, I'm a decent-looking guy. I still have my health. I can walk right outside to the fucking beach. I'm very lucky to have all this. Your life fucking sucks.
Oh, I just feel pleasure out of writing the most hilarious responses that I laugh at myself over. Some girls goes, you should be doing 70s porn. Did you see that one?
Of course.
That was my favorite one. I go, oh, yeah, I did Danica Does the Wall. I was like, I play the wall. She's really into me. She's like, are you ever funny? I just imagine the triggered gif.
But have you ever thought, because I've written this back, have you ever thought about writing this? And I've done this. But no, you're more, I like how you do it. You do it completely different than me. I know I've written at times, it's like, because they'll come at you with the same thing they'll do to me.
Yeah.
You're a no-name, talentless, hack comic. And they'll start comparing you to other comics. I've never heard of you. And it's like, well, no one ever said that you should have heard of me.
Yeah.
But what I always love, and I'll respond to sometimes, is like, no one's ever heard of me. I'm a no-name, yet you're so worked up over me. So someone's heard. You heard of me.
But the thing, what's amazing is, like, I don't take any of that to heart because I am a no-name. So, but who gives a fuck? Great. I love, like, it's my favorite thing. Triggering white women is literally my favorite thing.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Triggering white women.
There's no better. There's no better thing. I agree.
Oh.
Triggering white women. Yeah. I mean, Prano, I was
still with her. Well, that's just a reckless decision. She's not even still with her. She's still with her.
What? And by the way, what are we still resisting?
Still with her. Still with her is like I would like to say this, and I mean it 100%. Still with her is the liberal equivalent of still flying the Confederate flag. You lost. You lose. You get nothing. It's over. Over. Matumbo, Vince Carter, it's over. You lost. There is no her. There is no her. She's done. It's over. You lose.
But I'm the same way with the resistance, the hashtag resistance.
I'm still with her. That's like EJ going, no, the Rockets are going to the finals. No, they're going. No, they're going. We're going. I'm still with the Rockets. Rockets.
It's like my one tweet.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's like my one tweet I did a few months ago. Yeah, this is the analogy. The people who still have a Hillary bumper sticker on their car.
Well, that's why you don't put bumper stickers on your car, because what you can do is scrape it off.
No, but you're that person who has up 2017 Cleveland Cavaliers NBA runner-up. You're like, you're like, what? Like take the L. You lost.
Yeah.
Do you want one more call?
Sure.
You want me to go random? Call we've never listened to before? Yeah. Okay. Area codes choices are 661-509-314. Now, I know two of these area codes. I know one Seattle, 314 is St. Louis. I don't know the last one. What do you want?
Let's go with Seattle. I love Seattle.
Okay.
I'll be in Washington 2 shows in July.
Good plug. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, it's CC here in Seattle. Super psyched the Warriors made the fourth straight finals. And I know, Joe, you love D'Antoni and the fact that his system kind of invented the current basketball system now, but whatever he does can't win. The Rockets went 7 from 44 tonight from 3. That's not going to make it. They need a better mix, man. I don't know. Like, I know you love D'Antoni, but his system just doesn't function to win a championship or even a conference championship. That's it. Peace.
Oh, CT dropping a haymaker to end this show.
I love CT. I'll see him in July.
Great dirtball.
We're actually going to the Mariners game together. There's only one loophole in that theory is his system did just win the conference finals. His system did already win a championship. The Warriors run his system. They just do it with way, way, way better shooters and way, way, way more consistent players. Klay Thompson would hit 43s a game on the Rockets. Like, it is, like, Alvin Gentry literally said that after they won their first championship. He came up and fucking stole the microphone from Steve Kerr. He's like, I just want to say, shout out to Mike D'Antoni. You did it. This is your offense. I'm out. I'm going to coach Pelicans. Thank you for my career. He literally did it. It did. It is their system. Everybody, like, this isn't a like, oh, remember when Mike D'Antoni invented 7 seconds or less and then the whole NBA did? And like, what, like, that's what's happening. Like, we talk about the evolution of basketball and we talk about these bigs who have to be able to shoot threes. And we talk about, like, the Warriors came out in the third quarter and they were like, yeah, we're not going to just start going to the basket because we didn't hit shots in the first and the second quarter. We're going to keep shooting, and it's going to fucking work. And honestly, if you look at down the stretch of that game, one thing that Kerr did in the fourth quarter is he started doing hack a cappella. It's like they weren't going all in on just like every 3-ball shooter. Kevin Durant's the only guy on the floor for significant portions of the Warriors game who's over like 6'7", and he shoots threes. Like, this is not. There is a system, and that's where it started. And if you look at who has made it, I mean, even the Cavaliers. We're talking about LeBron James. When they're playing their best, it's LeBron James. They collapse on LeBron James, and he surrounds them with shooters. Dwight Howard and all the shooters around him who made the finals. Like, this has been going on a long time now, and gone are the days where Kobe's mid-range game and power making the finals. It's not happening. I mean, look at the fucking Celtics. It's not like they're not, every one of those guys isn't shooting tons of threes. Live and die by it now, and maybe the game will change a little bit when you get the ADs and the Karl Anthony Towns, but even those guys. I mean, like, the idea that this system, it already worked. Alvin Gentry has a career because he was an assistant on the Warriors. He's now the head coach of the Pelicans. He fucking said it. He said it. Like, that's the only problem with this theory. It is working. It's working for the Warriors. And if you have the best shooters, it's really, really hard to beat.
I just think if Mike D'Antoni got some lines in his head, they would have had a way better chance of winning. I don't know. That's my take.
I mean, I think Mike D'Antoni's got to bring back the mustache next year.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
Go back to Pringle D'Antoni. All right, guys, that's our hotline calls, 310-359-8365. Yeah, that's the episode. It was a very full episode. You guys are learning a lot. I hope you've taken some of my basic white girl quotes and you put them to work.
Great. Well, thanks for the call from CT up in Seattle. I'll be there next month. I'll be in Lake Chelan, Washington for the 4th of July weekend. I'll be at Bingle Fest the weekend after. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Backbone of the Dirtball fam. Really started with some serious shitheads. If you're a shithead, you're anywhere near Washington, come to Bingle Fest. Talk about mushrooms. We're going to do a lot more than mushrooms at Bingle Fest. We're going to bingle all the way. And follow me, Twitter, @FixYourLife. Go to joeprano.com for shows. 2 great shows in L.A. this weekend. Tahoe, New York, New Jersey, Washington, San Diego, Chicago for the Dirtball meetup in September. What was formerly week 1 of the NFL season.
Still is. Yeah, and just so you guys know, Joe's going on the road a lot, but that's not going to affect this show. Just wanted to put that out there. We will make things work. That's my job. I got to make this shit work.
I feel like EJ is a good study. I feel like EJ can slide right in here and be like, Mike D'Antoni's the GOAT. Just over and over. Like, I feel like he's got that in him.
Yeah, I think these guys could hold their own, but they have their own thing, which they haven't done for a while, but we're going to blame Mevo on that. The interns, YouTube exclusive.
I thought you were going to say, I thought you said we're going to blame Mevo on that before I realized you said Mevo. And I was like, well, I don't want to throw you under the bus here, but if you're saying it.
DirtySports.com. Anything you want, it's all there. And, yeah, at Andy Ruther for me, at the Dirty Sports. For the show's Twitter, you guys can drop an iTunes review. It's that easy. Like, just do it. Just fucking do it. What are we waiting on here? Because here's
I've said for a long time, it's easier to leave an iTunes review than it is to say I'm wrong.
It is. But my rule for the show has always been, if you leave an iTunes review and leave your Twitter handle, I automatically follow you back. Because that's one of two things. I'd like to know who listens to the show. To me, I also want to support you. You support us, I want to support you back with a follow. But it blows my mind the amount of people who clearly listen to the show on Twitter, I see from tweets, but haven't left an iTunes review. Like, we're not one of the biggest shows out there. But you know what helps us on the charts? iTunes reviews.
I've noticed only people with their picture on their Twitter leave iTunes reviews.
I don't know. I haven't done a case study on that yet. Should check that out. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Just so you guys know, we might be delayed on some of the other Dirty Sports Network podcasts this week because we bumped
holiday week.
We bumped everything back a day.
Yeah, it's like when those HBO shows, they don't air on holiday weekend Sundays.
So everything might be back a day this week. But don't worry, we're still dusting. Dust it real hard. All right, Dirtballs, thanks for listening to the show. And most importantly, don't forget, condoms are for pussies.